All right. Peace to the family. Peace to the family. What's going on? Peace to you and yours. It's your brother Red, joined by brother Blue Pill any second now. So feel free to just file in. Do me a favor. Share this video. Salute to Indigo Rain. Salute to everybody that's coming in the chat room. Do me a favor and share this video with your network. All right. Let them know that we're live. Do that myself. Put this on Instagram. Waiting for my brother Blue to come in. I think he's in the building. He should be in any minute now. All right. What's going on, family? How y'all doing today? Or tonight, for that matter? Hope everybody is in good health. Mentally, physically, spiritually, and all that good stuff. All right. Yeah. Give me 1 minute, y'all. Yeah, peace. This is Red. This is Red Pill. We waiting for Blue to come in. Shalom. Shalom. Hotep. Black. Can y'all hear me? Can you?
Yeah.
Okay. Islam. There you go. I see you, Blue.
Yeah. That's a reverb.
All right, hold on. Is that good? No more reverb?
Yeah, it's better. You have the computer open.
I got my. Can you say something? Let me see if I hear you.
Yo.
Turn your volume down. There's something with your volume. I turn my volume up and it's still reverb.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any of your other screens open?
It's on you, Blue. Whenever you speak, you reverberate, and they said that's the AI. Huh. It's on you. It's on you. Turn that volume down. You got your shit on 10. I had to turn. My volume is on now. Say something.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Is it still reverbing?
You got an echo like you in the 80s and shit, like you in Skate Key and all that. Just a
You
little
don't
bit of echo.
you don't have no extra windows open?
No, sir. Not on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why the reverb is so crazy.
Somebody said they said that I was gone. My picture? What's going on? You can't see me? Yeah, you got me in a little screen. You gotta put me in a split screen.
All right. Here we go. Peace, family. Peace to you and yours.
Somebody said can't see you.
I'm in a split screen.
I didn't know. Ask the family. Oh, somebody said you good. So I guess they could see it.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Cool. They said we both good now. You got the 1980s echo. You might as well spit a rhyme or some shit so you can reverberate. You get signed tonight. Oh yeah,
Ready
you
versus
got your
good.
deep shit going on. If you say some deep shit tonight, you're gonna be reverberating. Let's
Yeah.
do it. So peace to you and yours, family. Peace to the family. Thank you for being in the building on this Tuesday night. You could be doing anything else. We appreciate the fact that y'all here with us for another monumental episode of Know the Ledge TV. Right back at your asses.
Facts.
Factology. Do me a favor though. I'm doing this right now. I'm spreading the word on Instagram, sharing the page. If you could do that as well, because we didn't really promote the show tonight. We're coming from a wake. We're coming from a celebration of life for one of our elders. So peace to Leku. We want the family to be able to share. We want the family that's out there on Twitter, Instagram to be able to tune in and whatnot. Alabama was happening. I know y'all got that election going on right now. I know that shit is crucial. Salute to all of the family in Alabama. I hope that what's his name? Moore. And I ain't talking about the Moors either. I hope Keaton Jones' mama and Rudy Ray Moore, you know, I just hope that we don't end this 2017 with a super L. You know what I mean? I hope the family in Alabama don't take an L tonight. And y'all prevail and y'all wind up electing the lesser of two evils.
Word.
You know?
Does anybody know why they go so hard? They going so hard for more?
You mean politically or just in the state? Why the white people in the state are riding for him?
Politically.
He's a Republican. He's filling in the seat that Jeff Sessions left. But numbers wise, Senate wise, they need that number. They need him to be, I think he tips the scale of the majority vote in Senate, something like that. You dig what I'm saying? So it's imperative that they put that somebody said Jones won. That's what's up. Niggas been doing some meditating. That shit worked out for y'all. I guess Black Jesus Tyrone came through. You know what I'm talking about? And he basically was going to you know, be one of those you know what I mean? Just another cog in that Republican GOP machine. So if they're saying that he lost, that's a good thing. The black vote made it count, of course. And I heard that they were pulling out a lot of tricky moves and whatnot with the black vote. they were saying that you have to have a license, and then they closed the DMV and shit today. So they was trying to, you know, throw monkey wrenches in the brothers and sisters voting power. But salute to everybody in Alabama that made it happen. You know, talking about that's one less thing to complain about tomorrow on online and shit, so we can focus on other solutions. We don't got a boohoo. Net neutrality is up for vote, so let's see if we're gonna have a double thumbs up.
Black magic.
You
Let's
know,
see the black girl magic work on this one.
let's see black girl magic work on that net neutrality, because I want my internet to operate the way that this shit has been operating. I'm not trying to pay for it.
I don't know what net neutrality is about.
Well, net neutrality is about, you know, splitting. It's double tiered, but the FCC, which already controls the internet and the providers of internet service, you know, the people who have been raping those bills already, where you got to pay for it. Niggas don't even watch cable no more. You got the phone bill mixed in with the cable bill, mixed in with the internet bill. Then there's certain kind of speeds like 4G, 3G, FiOS, and everything. What the net neutrality law that's on the books right now is allowing people to do is we all have access to the internet, and it's not based off of your bill. It's not based off of the speeds. It's not based off of how much you pay. Everything is basically leveled all around, you know, all around America, I guess, where people are utilizing the internet. They want to monetize that. You know what I'm saying? Big industry. They want to monetize that. They want to charge you a specific amount for a specific speed on the internet. Shit like that.
From what I understand, it's not just a speed, but you have to pay for a package to have access to specific portals.
Yes, all that. All that, you know. And people are struggling as it is, right? Their purses are being pinched. So they not feeling that whole paying, you know. Isn't the FCC pushing that? The FCC is pushing it, but the FCC controls the internet already as it is. But as we know with big corporations, they pushing something with the right hand, but they working with the left hand. Everybody in big data, everybody in these corporate companies, they are trying to figure out ways to make more money. That they already got niggas hooked to the internet. It's, you know what I'm saying? You already hooked on the opiate. People cannot get off of the internet. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they're ready to get you niggas while you hooked. And they know that you're gonna pay. It's gonna become a status symbol. Oh my nigga, you ain't on the internet. Yo, you can't get on the internet, nigga. Like, they know how people are. That's gonna be bragging rights. Yo, I can get on the internet mad fast.
Yeah, it's gonna be like the iPhone X.
Exactly. Exactly.
Nigger, you don't got no internet?
Nigger. So we're gonna talk about a few things tonight, family. We're gonna chop it up. We're gonna chop up some game. You know, talking about, Google Fiber. For anybody that lives in a state that provides Google Fiber, get on that ASAP. I remember dial-up when it took 30 minutes to get online. If you live in any state, I believe the Carolinas, Atlanta, they had Google Fiber. That is the highest speed internet. Get on that shit right now. You know what I mean? Because they did a lot of, you don't realize how important speed is. But if you're a competitor and you're in business and your competitor doesn't have the kind of computing speed or the download speeds that you have, you're going to be ahead of that competitor because you got access to faster speeds. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 3G. 3G ass niggas, and we ain't talking about Andre 3 stacks. You know what I'm saying? Niggas gonna be on that 5G network. They're gonna be G banging. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm a 3G nigga. I'm a 5G nigga. What's poppin'? You know. So that's what that is. All right. But like I said, we're gonna talk about a bevy of topics tonight. There's a lot of stuff going on in the news. There's a lot of stuff that is taking place that I'm sure that the family wants to build on. You might need some answers to a few things. If we can, we'll provide them. If not, we'll send you to a place that can provide them. But we're gonna chop up some things tonight.
Yes, indeed.
All right. So what's going on, Blue? What's going on with you, man? You all right?
Yeah, man. This reverb is kind of throwing me for a loop.
Yeah, I mean, when I was hosting, I went through the same thing. I'm trying to figure out what did I do to stop the reverb. But remember, the last show we had that issue. Is there a speaker? Because I'm speaking into my laptop. There's no speaker that's sending anything back. Is there a speaker on your end?
I'm talking through my laptop.
Do you want to plug in your headphones? You think that might work? Want to try that out?
It won't hurt to try. Hold on. I think that's what we did with you last time.
Factology. Before I forget, Friday, 9 p.m. to midnight. Right? 9 p.m. to midnight, Brother Rich, Black Magic 363. That's the YouTube channel, Black Magic 363. He's doing an album release live stream with our brother Cambada. All right. There's a project called Black Magic that they're putting out. Huh?
What I sound like?
Talk a little bit more.
Yo, what I sound like, son?
Do me a favor and do the split screen. You got me on the baby screen.
What you mean I got you on a baby screen?
You got me on a little box.
Nah.
Oh, that's you.
Those the little box.
That's not how it's showing up on mine. Yeah, you good though. Your sound is better now.
All right. Let's rock and roll.
Okay.
Peace, family. Peace, you and yours. This is Brother Blue Pill Report, alive and direct. Welcome to Know the Less TV. All right. So, yes, as the brother said, there's a myriad of topics that we need to touch on. And we'll get started by recapping tonight's events. You know, we're just coming back from a wake, memorializing a great elder in our community, a titan in our community, a pillar in our community. I told his story this evening at the wake. I'll share it briefly with the family that's here just to give you an idea, you know, why this rings so close to home. When we initially got to Harlem to set up shop, this was over a decade ago.
05?
You know, something like that, yeah. You know, and mind you, the streets of Harlem, my grandfather walked those streets every single day. You know what I'm saying? He mingled with the vendors out there. Harlem, hold on. Y'all still hear the echo? Let me know in the chat.
I'll give you the information for the hats in a minute. Let Blue finish talking.
Yeah. So the streets of Harlem, you know, my grandfather populated those streets, and Harlem wasn't really our cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? We was from Brooklyn, and Okay, they're saying they can still hear the reverb.
It ain't that bad though. You Gucci, man.
So I came uptown to spend some time with my grandfather. He was going through some medical things. And the thing that I want to stress to everybody, you know, the reasons that I have a lot of patience and resilience for people that are dealing with lifestyle changes, meaning that you might have grown up your entire life, you know what I'm saying, going to the hospital and taking medication that was recommended to you by the white coach. Or you might have been in the church all your life. Or you might been eating meat all your life and you don't want to entertain veganism. I'm not as radical as other people are because of my direct relationship with people in my family that were the closest to us that ain't want to fuck with nothing that we had to offer, even if it was for the good. So my grandfather ate what he wanted to the days that he was no longer here. You know, my father would not, my grandfather, even though he was from the Caribbean, he didn't want to take no herbs. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother the same way. Um, my grandfather, I didn't think he had a great appreciation for Dr. Sabi, to say the least. So anything associated with that paradigm, he didn't want to have nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So um, I say all that to say that he was in a debilitated state, and I couldn't be up here, and I couldn't be in Harlem giving him the herbs that he needed. I had to physically be there and do other things for him that he needed to be done. So while we in Harlem, I had to make some money being that I was in Harlem. So, you know, we got the grand idea to start vending on 125th Street. That was one of the main corridors in the city, economic um,
Hotbed.
jugular vein, right?
Yeah.
So the first people that we had to check in with when we got to 125th is Dr. Jack Felder and Sinetta, in that order, because Felder was the elder. You know what I'm
Yeah, he
saying?
can't use that.
Felder was a Black Moses. So you had to go through Black Moses first. If you didn't get his consent, it would be very uncomfortable in that block coming to
Very,
set up. And
very
he the
uncomfortable.
first one out every day. And if he don't pump with you, he gonna let you know. So you wouldn't want
Yeah.
to be there pulling the
No,
all day with Black Moses staring at you and putting that African energy on you, and he don't rock with you, it would be very uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But we
won't
got the
survive.
blessings. Hmm?
You wouldn't survive.
You wouldn't survive. You wouldn't come back the next day. It would be very uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? So initially 125th was the convergence of audiences that came to see Jack Velder and audiences that came Brother Sarnetta. And then once we came, we brought our audience, you know what I'm saying? So there was kind of a mesh of all three audiences. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But nonetheless, we were able to build a foundation of which a lot of beautiful things have spawned from. And from day one that I met the brother until the last day that I seen him out on that block, he never changed one time, never switched up. He was always the epitome of a grandstanding character. All of the great things that we've heard about ourselves and our antiquity and our possibilities, he embodied in real life. So if you ever needed to be reminded what we fighting for and what we can achieve with dignity and character, we always had him as a personage to remind us. He always kept us even killed because we knew that he was out there sacrificing. He was a biochemist, scientist. He didn't have to be on 125th fighting with Negroes to put knowledge in their heads every single day. He didn't have to do that. He could have
Right.
sold out like these niggas sell out in the first quarter. You know what I'm saying? He could have sold out. You know what I mean? And been rewarded very handsomely for it. They'd have took care of him because he was a fucking threat. All right? They'd have put him up lovely, but he never sold out. You know what I'm saying? He sacrificed. He put all that stuff to the back, and his love for the people had him out there swallowing his pride like we do on the front line with the information, not tucked away in the store, rolling the dice with the odds that somebody might make a right or a left and come in your store, but on the street, on the curb, pitching every day. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Breaking through the ignorance, cutting the sludge that is 125th Street,
Yeah,
cutting through the sludge
because you gotta
to,
always
to,
keep
to
in mind.
insert a gym every now and then.
Yeah, you gotta
As
always keep
people
in
is
mind.
running up and down the street with the bag, they give it to the Jew man.
You always got to keep in mind, family, that in those days, in 2005, this was the beginning of a lot of these movements. You know what I'm saying? 125th Street was, that shit was savage still. You know, it was a lot of
Well,
illegal.
yeah, we're talking about the height of Dipset, family. For anybody that's just joining us, we're talking about the life and the legacy of Dr. Jack Felder. You know, a icon in our community who was laid to rest this evening. Well, his wake was this evening. He'll be interred tomorrow. But we're talking about Jack Felder. We're talking about the height of the Dipset reign in Harlem, where every other vendor that you passed on the street was selling porno open air on the table. And this is when all of the Fatty series came out. This when they first started going to Brazil.
Bubbles.
You know what I'm saying?
Oily bubbles.
Yeah, this is the oily fatties. This is the what we call the triple Beasleys. You know what I'm saying? Big black booties. So it was going down in Harlem. You know what I'm saying? This is when they had the Frosted Flake t-shirts with Tony the Tiger had the crack pipe. Popeye was smoking crack. You know what I'm saying? This is when niggas was wearing pink.
This is the pink era. Niggas
This is
rock.
the pink era in Harlem. This is when the AGs first came on the scene. The lesbians that looked like Lil Wayne. This is that Harlem.
Yeah, it's a different Harlem now. Shit done changed.
This is when every other nigga was trying to sell you a Lucy.
Yeah.
This is when the new pack cartons was popping out there. Like you
So,
couldn't just buy, you know, you buying 100 fucking cigarettes.
so standing out there representing consciousness in the midst of that sea, it was a pool of sharks. You know, the police was coming down on us hard out there too, mind you,
Jump
because
outs was
to sell DVDs was a felony. So the Jump Out Boys was always, remember, the DVDs was all surrounding all of us. They was getting their money and whatnot, and I ain't stopping nobody from getting their money. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't on that. We ain't gonna stop you from doing what you got to do to feed you and yours. You ain't out here selling crack. You ain't selling no you know, you ain't selling no ass and shit. So the police would use the fact that the DVD dudes was hot to basically run down on the consciousness. You know what I mean? Always running our names, always trying to check under our tables and stuff like that. So we were enduring a lot of shit to get the information and to get the items, the clothing, and to get consciousness into the hands of our people.
facts.
Now, Dr. Jack Felder was a representative of what we call character and integrity of elders. So before there was anything called a conscious community, the micronism of what a community looked like was taking place on 125th Street. Because if it would,
right. The incubator.
The incubator. If it were not for the customers that were coming to buy books from Dr. Jack Felder, coming to buy DVDs from Brother Sarnetta, coming to buy T-shirts or stopping to buy T-shirts from my table and even my brother's table, you know what I mean, I wouldn't have met a majority. I wouldn't be exposed to a litany of the people that we've been exposed to. The videos that y'all see on YouTube where everybody is building, the same way that you niggas is on your lunch break and you go to the water cooler and chop it up. And you know, I used to work construction years and years ago. Construction, we go get some food, we get the sandwich, we chilling. Some dudes are smoking their cigarettes, we just chilling, mad dirty, kicking it. Shorties is walking by, they catcalling and everything. It's the same thing. We're taking lunch breaks from our grind of providing for our family to do videos to just talk about what's going on during the day. There might be a topic that somebody was researching, because remember, this is UCLA, University on the corner of Lenox Avenue. So you were in the midst of the consciousness in real time. You're buying books, you're going home and reading them. You're having your eureka moments. You're coming out the next day, you're putting that information on camera so it could go around the world. So that environment that we were introduced to in the years 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, that opened our eyes to the possibilities of a conscious community. Like, yo, this shit, what if the youth would pick up on this? The reason why I went to 125th Street when I was visiting New York. I was living in Miami, chilling on the beach. I was visiting New York. I heard about Sonetta with the lectures, with the DVDs, you know what I mean? But when I went out there, because like Blue said, my grandfather was in a senior citizen home on 117th. I was over there chilling, visiting, chopping up game with him and whatnot, but he used to walk the streets. So he even started telling me about the 120. Why you ain't going 125th yet, boy? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I'm gonna go over there. Let me go see what's going on. So the first day I go, I see Sonetta at work. He's stopping the youth. I'm seeing people stopping, they looking, because you remember all of the pictures are up. So it's almost like a tourist attraction. He goes home. I don't remember what it was. I think I had two shirts, 2 items from when I brought with me from Miami. They were shirts with patches on them. I had to ask the elder permission in order to get money, right? Because I just wasn't no bum ass nigga. I'm not gonna just set up right next to you. I gotta get permission from the elder. Yo, elder, can I sell this right here? Because the shit that I was selling wasn't necessarily conscious. It was military patches on a shirt. Doc Felder said, you could sell. You know what I'm saying? Then Nova Felder, who was his son, who's around our age, said, yo, matter of fact, we doing something at the O'Berry Dempsey Center. When we pack up, you want to come through? And I was like, yeah, why not? I went to the O'Berry Dempsey Center. That's just that's almost like when y'all go to, you see the National Black Theater. It's a school, right? It's a public school, but at night they used to have classes where they were teaching. This is the first time I see Dr. Ben in the flesh. They invite me to the O'Berry and Dempsey Center on a Wednesday night. I goes up in there. I look in the front. I'm like, wait, that look like Dr. Ben.
Dr.
Ben is
Not Uncle Ben.
Not Uncle Ben.
Dr. Ben.
So Dr. Ben is in the building. Jack felt that the elders are teaching and everything. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, yo, this might be what I need in my life. Because remember, at that point, I don't have purpose. I don't have a path. I don't know what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm not deaf, dumb, and blind, but I'm living up the Miami life. I'm with the senoritas and, sipping on daiquiris and, you know what I'm saying? But I was chilling with some conscious people in Miami. My brothers Duo Live from Bed-Stuy. They was introducing me to Rastafarianism. I tell food, eating right, all of that stuff that they were doing on the Rasta side.
Smoking it down.
Burning it down. Yeah. I wasn't even smoking then. So I was like, yo, this shit is interesting. I like the energy that I'm seeing on 25th. Like, I might be able to get with this. So I chilled out there for a few more days and whatnot, picking up on the culture, just basically just being. It's called being. Not, I
Right.
didn't have a business plan. I didn't have a projection of where I'm gonna be in 5 years. I just was showing up and being there. I was a fly on the wall watching shit, feeling it out, looking for if there's some fake shit going on, just looking for the shit that would make my antenna shoot up. I was in the presence of a brother by the name of Julian X, who walked with Malcolm X. I was in the
He was his
presence
press
of
secretary, I believe, right?
the press secretary.
Yeah.
I was in the presence of griots because remember, Jack Felder was bringing a lot of elders, pillars in the community to they couldn't walk by without paying homage. So
Yeah, that was the OG.
that was the OG.
You had to acknowledge him.
You know what I mean? They had to acknowledge him. They couldn't just walk by.
He brought the glitterati in. Like I said, he was one extreme, and then Sinetta would bring a whole nother extreme in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A little bit more of a militant edge.
Yeah,
You know
Sinetta had the Panthers coming through, the new Black
Yeah.
Panthers. He had the youth was fucking with him a little bit, you know what I mean? People that was in the streets were more comfortable.
Yeah, more street figures was coming to see Sinetta. The academia, historian like type folk, they was coming and paying homage to Dr. Jack Felder.
Jack Felder.
You know what I'm saying?
Jeffries.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Titans, you know what I'm saying? All of them.
Because he's a part of that pantheon.
That's his peers, yeah.
He's a chemist.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the first people who called AIDS a scientific experiment. He has
a hoax. Yeah,
a hoax.
He wrote the book. He was the first one to write the book, calling it the hoax. You know what I'm saying? That's
Great
what your brother
hope.
did.
You know what I'm saying? So we're talking about a bona fide legend. You know when they say when an elder dies, the library burns to the ground? Well, God damn it. This was multiple libraries that just burned to the ground with the passing of Dr. Jack Felder. And so today was one of those days, you know what I mean? It was a celebration, but at the same time, it was a little bit of teary-eyed. You know what I mean? I shed some tears because I felt, when I shed the tear, Blue, when the elder sister came up to start talking.
She was going in. She lit the fire. Yeah, she lit the fire.
She lit the fire.
Damn.
Something about, you know what I mean? When our elders, especially the sisters, man,
sisters,
like
they've carried this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of BS in the community, granted, family, but nothing puts you back in perspective like mama. You know what I'm saying? And all of the elder sisters are all mama. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just like the elder brothers are all Baba. You feel me? Just because you got some gray in your beard don't make you a Baba though. Like all them niggas in Atlanta. Like Dr. Jack Felder was a true Baba, in the sense that they keep talking about this village ideology. Well, yeah, that was Dr. Jack Felder. You know what I'm saying? The village was a small community in Harlem that now has, expressed itself on a global level, but it's still a very small community. It's a village. Everybody knows one another. You know what I'm saying? And that brother was the glue to that community, is the backbone. You feel me? Him and Sinetta were like the odd couple. If y'all ain't too young enough.
Remember that TV show?
Yeah, if y'all remember that TV show of the odd couple, they were like the odd couple. You know what I'm saying? They didn't always see eye to eye. They bumped heads a lot, but friction is necessary. You know what I'm saying? Because it actually, it brings energy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And sometimes you have to have the diversive perspectives in order to arrive at the especially like for me to arrive at the logic that I use that helps people a lot. I'll give it to you from multiple perspectives. You feel me? I'll give it to you from a myriad of perspectives because I'm the one that's always listening when they talking. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, they making sense over here. They making sense over here. How is that possible? You feel me? You have to really remove yourself and analyze these conversations to be like, damn, Is anybody technically wrong? Is anybody technically right? It's all perspective at the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
So, yeah, you know, the elder sister came up and she reminded us, you know, women have the ability to remind you of your task. They task you quick, you know, and nobody does it like the elder, you know what I'm saying? Who got the scars in the, you know what I mean? Like the battle scars, who've been through this, you know, who's pressed the line. You know, they spoke about these elders in the terms of being long distance runners. And then they were comparing them to some of the younger people today that they say are sprinters. These niggas ran to sprint for 2 years and sold out, tapped out.
Burnt
You
out.
feel me? Burnt out. You could find these niggas on The Real Husbands of Hollywood or some shit like that. Whereas the long distance runners have ran for 50 fucking years. All right. And that's not a badge of dishonor. Bitch ass niggas. I'm not talking to y'all, family. I'm just saying there's other people that are critical of the community to be like, but you've been doing this for 50 fucking years. Yeah, the ones that know what this shit is about, they do it to their last breath. They do it till they dead. They don't do it until they 50 and retire from this shit and go to fucking Malibu and live it up. It's a fucking struggle. You know, our people are not free. You know what I'm saying? You can walk around, you have the semblance of freedom based on movement, but there's still a lot that needs to be done for those that want to say, look, I can't be comfortable unless I see, you know what I'm saying, my quote unquote people. Again, that shit is dealing with a perspective. Who your people are and who that encompasses and how much, that's all perspective. You got to figure that out yourself. Okay, because it could just be a household, it could be a community, it could be a neighborhood, it could be an entire nation, it could be your entire diasporic existence, it could be a fucking cosmic galactical existence. That's on you. But until those people are straight, then there's work to do. You know what I mean? Why did the elders get that? The elders have made a lifetime commitment from the fucking cradle to the grave to put this work in and to leave with a legacy intact. The young niggas, they want, you know, they shit questionable.
Microwavable.
They might go ahead, they want to jump in, they want to jump out. You know what I'm saying? They want to be on Housewives. You know.
And no offense to anybody that just came, new teachers and whatnot, but you gotta really be in this bitch for about 10 years to even be considered, you gotta last out. You have to be a long distance runner. Nothing is gonna happen overnight. You gotta be a long distance runner. You gotta put there's so much sacrifice that takes place in this movement. There's so much sacrifice that takes place in this race. When was that when the elder was talking about how they came down on all of the academia in the 90s and whatnot and was threatening to wash all of them up because they were exposing the truth, right? And then what did they wind up doing? They let some white people in. Who just talked about that? Who was that?
Ashra
Kwesi at his lecture on Sunday in Brooklyn. He brought the heat. Brought the heat. And he explained that when they had this movement in the late 80s, remember, we get all, the woke movement, niggas is woke, we, you know what I mean? They hashtag on Twitter and everything. There was a movement of consciousness in the 80s that rivaled this shit that we doing right now, family. We got all of the fucking tools.
No, in the 90s, you could turn on Donahue. You could turn on Geraldo. Okay? You could turn on shows like that.
It was bubbling in the 80s and then it went into the 90s.
Went into the 90s. All that shit was on the talk shows.
Niggas was viral.
Niggas was viral. Khaled was up there. You could see Valentine in the audience. Shazara Ali, Eliezer Vincent. You know, all of these people was on these shows bringing fire. They was talking about white supremacy. These were talking points on TV shows. I don't know what D-Wave technology they hit niggas with to be like, we've never heard this term on TV until 2007. No.
Yeah.
This shit was the talking points on TV a long time ago.
Yes,
You know
a
what I'm
very
saying?
long time ago.
People have always been conscious. There's always been a semblance of what we call a conscious community. You know, even when we're talking about Harlem and us coming in '05, well, from 2000 to 2005, the movement was living in Brooklyn. It didn't cross, you know what I'm saying? It didn't cross intersect with the Harlem crowd until '05. It was mainly based in Brooklyn, and that's where the foundation of the metaphysical underground was being built. But that was even a later iteration of something that had already existed, because my mother said she was going to Phil Valentine lectures in the '90s in his brownstone. You know what I'm saying? Delbert Blair was already legendary. Bobby Hemmett was already legendary by the time we found out about them.
Look,
They just hadn't been exposed to audience. The same way that next year we're gonna be in the multi-millions, you know what I'm saying, in regards to viewership and bread. And people are gonna just be finding out about the red and the blue. And people are gonna be like, I've been on to that for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching them for 4 years. I know
yeah.
about them from 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
So
There's, you know, it's like the water that spills into the pool, then the pool spills into the river, then the river spills into the ocean. You feel me?
and
Like,
with
again, perspectives.
perspectives, we only saying all of this history to put a perspective out there that it didn't just start with us. It didn't just start with YouTube. It didn't just start with Hidden Colors. It didn't just start with all of the names that you're familiar with now. These names have to acknowledge who came before them. These new personalities and these characters that exist, they have to acknowledge who the fuck are you standing on? Whose shoulders? Identify the soldiers, the shoulders that you're standing on. You motherfuckers don't exist. You're not standing on, you're not levitating on no gravity. There's some shoulders that you're shoulders of soldiers. So in the 80s, you had X Clan, PE, the rappers was dropping knowledge. There was a humongous movement with the Ansar Allah community.
They had teachers.
There was a
They were dropping knowledge because they had teachers. They were exposed. You got the Steve Coakleys. You had the Sister Soldiers of the world. You had the Asa Hilliards. You know what I'm saying? There's so many people that should be mentioned, and there's so many unsung people. You know, we have a tendency, yes, to believe, like I said, that we were part of a contingency that consolidated the information, right, and made it available, opened the door, brought in the youth. And then social media came at an opportune time in '07, '08. And then it took on an entirely different life of its own. You feel me? Became digital. But there's a lot, you know, those are the branches of a tree. The tree still has roots. So we have to acknowledge those roots. This evening, we laid to rest, or we memorialized the life and the legacy of Dr. Jack Felder, who was a major, he was a major root, you feel me, in that family tree that we're talking about. And he's on his way to join the pantheon of some great ones that await his arrival, you know, and they will herald him like the true champion that he is. You know what I'm saying? The gates will be flung wide open to receive this brother, you know, one of the proudest Africans that I know, you know, and no
like
diss to nobody that's embroiled in this argument about who we are, where we come from. Like I've said many times, you know, according to the United Nations, nationality is something that, you know what I'm saying, you can, you know, you can change, you can interchange, you could do this. That brother was African. He had his mind made up. You feel me?
He wasn't an African American. He was an
African in America. You know, he's made many trips to the continent. He married a woman from the continent. He owned property in the continent. He did business in the continent. You feel me? He interacted, interfaced with people on 125th from the continent, unlike a lot of people who be talking real African, but they don't dialogue with no quote unquote Africans from Africa.
Yep, they don't even
You
know
understand? They don't even know them. They don't know nothing about them. You know, that brother chopped it up. He was an African at heart. You know what I'm saying? And I loved that black man, and that's how he wants to be identified. That's how I shall identify him. You feel me? He was the one responsible for the 30-foot red, black, and green flags flying on 2/5 that you always seen.
Yeah.
You know, he was really militant. You know what I'm saying? He was militant in the sense that he didn't cower to no European. He didn't care two shits about no police. You feel
I
me?
never seen him fold for none of that.
Yeah. I never seen him fold. You know what I mean? Like they just knew that he was a different archetype altogether. And I'm sure that they were praying for the day that he's no longer here. You know what I mean? But
And that leads me to another thing that, you know, every year we're losing more and more of our elders. And I'm talking about a breed and a pedigree and a stock that you can't clone. I'm sorry.
no, you can't replace them.
You cannot make another Sabi. It's so many new Sabis out there online. I'm not gonna say nobody name, but god damn it. It's like so many people saying, I'm not Sabi, I'm greater than Sabi. Or I'm the new Sabi, and all of this crazy fucking talk. I'm like, nigga, what?
Wow.
You cannot clone Sabi. You cannot clone Dr. Francis Quest Wilson. You cannot clone Dr. Delbert Blair. You cannot clone Dr. Jack Felder. There's so many doctors. Remember, keep in mind, I said all of these names, but what did I say in front of their names? Dr.
Right.
Blair, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Dr. Sabi, Dr. Jack Felder. All of our doctors are leaving us.
Right. Dick Gregory. You know, let's
Dick
put him
Gregory.
in there.
You know what I'm saying? So we got doctors in science. We have doctors in health. We have doctors in psychology. All of these griots, all of these great ones, all of our elders are leaving us to go into a better place, to join the realm of the ancestors, and they coming right back. We're now the new elders. We're becoming the new elders. So there was a time when they were in their 40s and their great ones left, and they didn't think that they could measure up. And they were like, those are the titans and we can't compare. But there's something that had to turn on in their minds that made them step this shit up double time to become the legends that they are now. Remember, Sabi tells
Dr.
you,
Amos Wilson. Yes.
Dr. Amos Wilson, Sabi tells you in his story that he had his awakening in his late 30s.
35. Right.
Okay.
That's when he woke up.
That's when he had his second, that's when his second life began. So it's never too late. Nobody is too old to be a great one. Nobody is too old to show to fulfill purpose. It's not about trying to be like anybody. What is your purpose? What contract did you sign with the motherfucking ancestors before you came back? What are you going to do to find that contract? What are you going to do to find the purpose of why your black ass incarnated? You did not incarnate to be a mumble rapper. Okay? That's a phase. You know what I mean? That's some shit that you're going through to get to where you got to go. Look at all of the rappers from the early 2000s. Look at what they're talking about right now. They're evolving. I just watched an interview with Jeezy on Everyday Struggle. He's a fucking man now. He's evolved. Listen to Jay-Z when he talks. As many rocks as you want to throw, he's evolving. Listen to T.I. He's evolving. The same people that you thought was out there killing niggas and selling drugs, they're evolved now. So the
Nipsey, Snoop. I mean, we can run down the line.
So
you know, some of the best conversations. Yeah, some of the best conversations that I'm, eavesdropping on is coming from people who you would least expect it from. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Jada Kiss's juice and Styles P's owns a juice bar.
Fabulous is he's somewhat conscious. So the mumble rappers in the next 10 years will be they'll be namaste. You know what I mean? They done took enough fucking drugs that they'll be third eye open. They'll be talking about the earth is flat. B.O.B. is awake. Like there's so many, you know what I'm saying? There's so many people who have evolved. And I'm only giving you these examples because I'm showing you how this shit works. Don't worry about how a person comes out in the beginning, rough, rugged, mad, blind to shit. You know what I'm talking about? They in the darkness. They just chasing that paper. They just want to get some fucking Becky. You know what I mean? Be patient with them. Stop focusing on them. Focus on the ones that have woke the fuck up. The reason why they woke up is because they eating some of this food.
Right.
Keith Murray, my niggas.
Keith Murray, the most beautifulest.
The most beautifulest thing. He just does it. He just did a lecture in Harlem Saturday.
With Inky, yeah.
So all I'm saying is we don't need to be focusing on what people are not doing. They gonna do what the fuck they gonna do. They are filling a void. The old heads is, you know, the OGs is waking up. So of course the youth got to come in with the youthful shit. They're youth. What the fuck was you doing at 18? If you, because I know if that shit was popping when we was younger, niggas' whole face would have been graffiti right now. The polo horse, mad big on the side.
Oh yeah, niggas have Gucci on their forehead. It would be.
Niggas had Louis on their eyelids.
On their. Come on, son.
You know, we was wearing the gold teeth.
That shit would have been mad embarrassing. Y'all
you'd have been Tekashi 6. So I'm saying all of that just to say that we have work to do as the young elders, as the new elders. We have a lot of work to do. I don't take what we're doing as this. Like, I appreciate the accolades and people saying that we working, we're helping them and everything. That's great. Kudos. That's what's up. But I'm treating this shit like the first day I stepped on the streets in Harlem. I am not 1%. I might be 1% satisfied. There's 99%.
You know how much work? Yeah, it has to be done. I'm sitting there in the audience. I'm looking at James Smalls. I'm looking at Leonard Jeffries. You feel me? I'm like, bruh, like, I don't ever get caught up on this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I appreciate everything, but I'm not there yet. You feel me? Like, I'm in my baby stages for real. You know what I mean? Like, I just learned my legs. You feel me? I'm still wobbling, matter of fact. I'm not dunking yet. I just learned how to stand up and walk on these bitches. Like, I ain't even running yet. You understand? It's a long way to go. It's like they said, long distance running. I'm in this to the fucking day that I'm gone, and I'm leaving something behind that will reverberate as well. Right. You know, beyond this temporal life that we live. You know, unless I get with them billionaires to get my immortality going, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, just keeping it all the way 100, y'all. There's so much work to be done. Yeah, there's so many contributions to be made. There's so much creativity that needs to be expressed. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm looking at the next fleet of elders that will soon join the pantheon of the ancestors. You feel me? There's a lot of them that we're looking at that you know are bound to be making that crossover. We're going to be doing funerals for a long time. Even like in my family, I have a lot of family, you know, and that's the downside that comes with that. Enjoy it while it's here. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy them, embrace them, because you know you're going to be burying a succession of people. You know what I'm saying? Back to back to back to back to back to back to back. You know what I mean? Because the majority of them are here now. You know what I'm saying? They're living. We're loving the life. We're enjoying the company of one another. You know what I'm saying? But then people start dropping like flies, and you got to put it all in perspective, and you got to pick up, and you got to keep it moving, because the younger ones underneath you are looking at you to see what you do and how you handle this shit. And that's how they're gonna handle when you go.
When you go. And it's also very important. And I'm not getting on no preachy shit. You know what I mean? I ain't on my soapbox. But keep in mind the kind of work that a Jeffries and a Smalls and a Felder and all of the elders have put in to get us here to where we're at right now. Just imagine the level of heartbreak that they must feel when they tune in or they plug in and they get exposed to the fuckery. You don't ever want no elder going back to the realm of the ancestors to report what the fuck we doing here. You feel me? That's when hurricanes and earthquakes will come for your ass. That's when Garvey will come in that motherfucking whirlwind. Because if they go back into the realm of the ancestors and they like, yo, these niggas is the youth is they fucking up. They playing games. They just doing a lot of fuck shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, wipe the slate clean. Yeah.
So we have to always keep that in mind. We are children and we have parents, not biological, spiritual. Okay? If you want to drink from this fountain, know that somebody dug that motherfucking well and they put the water in there for you to drink. You have to honor those who come before you. That's where our blessings, that's where our blessings are going to come from. That's when the doors will begin to open up. That's how you do the spiritual work. Niggas are so ashe this and that, but the elders is on the sideline suffering.
Parched.
But they revering some invisible God. They revering some invisible realm of ancestors. They trying to tap into, yo, I got all of these ancestors around me, but you got an ancestor right there parched. Hurting. So if you in DC, if you in Texas, if you in Atlanta, if you in Cali, anywhere that you at, there's some elders who played a part in doing something that's beneficial to either you or your community. You have a duty. I ain't talking about going to, you know what I mean? You don't gotta pay their bills. You don't gotta, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
You gotta do something though. How about give them their flowers? How about throwing an event and invite one of these teachers? You know what I'm saying? I'm sure, you know, whatever the most requested teachers are, you reach out to them and you do an event where you're honoring these people. You're putting their name out there. They don't gotta be, because we so name brand these days that if they name ain't on the back of one of these documentaries, you know what I'm talking about? Or if they don't got views on YouTube, y'all don't even consider them worthy. And that's where you're wrong. Because even with Dr. Jack Felder, damn near 98% of the videos that you seen on 2/5, he was behind the camera, not filming, but he was doing him. He wasn't no camera kind of guy.
Yeah, he was in the vicinity of all of them classic pieces of footage that got filmed. Classic. He was right there. He just wasn't on camera. He wasn't with the fuck shit. He's like, look, yeah, I got work to do. I'm interfacing while your backs is turned, looking at the dialogue. I'm talking to the people passing by on the street, you know, getting this product in their hands.
But his energy was felt and his energy was respected. You got to remember, there's certain things that won't take place in the midst of an elder, because you know, it's like doing some fuck shit in front of your grandparents. You know what I'm talking about? You're going to get hit with something. So he brought a level of discipline. He brought a level of, he brought a level of integrity. He brought a level of respect out there. This shit did not elevate and get completely out of hand because a lot of people did not want to embarrass themselves in the sight of the elder, because the elder was plugged into the other elders and he gonna tell on your ass. I seen him hold court many a times and throw niggas completely under the bus. And it's a hands-off policy on a lot of niggas out there because the elders have peeped what the fuck has been going on, and they've made their decisions about a lot of people who are not worthy to wear certain titles and whatnot. So wherever you at, just fill the cup of the elder. Pour some water for the elder. Ask them, yo, honor them for whatever they make. You got authors that are around you, people that wrote books. They might have been on Donahue popping back in it, whatever it is. Let them know that you appreciate the fact that they were there, because if not for them, we would not be here. If we're not here, you might not be here. And I'm not talking about that specifically, but everybody has somebody that woke them up. Phil Valentine, Dr. Sabi, Dr. Delbert Blair. I always say their names because I'm not hiding nobody. A blue pillar was Ajra Kwesi. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Ashra. The VHS, African Origins of Christianity.
Amos Wilson.
I saw that VHS. It knocked me off. I was traveling.
Remember when we was at UGR Studios with and I saw the Amos Wilson and I passed out. I went in the living room and started doing pull-ups and I passed out. Right?
Yeah.
It just did something. It did something to me.
Ashra woke something up in me that, you know what I'm saying, it couldn't stay asleep any longer. Like, I was exposed to truth that it was so confrontational, you know what I'm saying, that I just would never be the same. I couldn't go back and pretend like I didn't just see what I seen. I didn't hear what I heard. You know, he showed diagrams on the walls of Kemet that was buried underneath sand that were mimicking the story in the Bible. And I wasn't even a Bible toter. I read the joint when I was locked up, you know what I'm saying? And I held on to some levels of precepts in the book that I felt, you know, was cool. It was key. Like, you know, this can't hurt, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But he was just showing the whole aspect of it being plagiarized. And then he was showing the African origins of it. And it just made me a little bit more inquisitive. I felt like I was naked out here. I was like, yo, there's mad stuff that I need to know to play in the real world, you know, not the street shit. You feel me? So I had to make my mind up. And I just wanted to overall be a better person. I had met a young lady at that time that made me want to be a better person. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to risk my life. You know, everything was about taking risk prior to that, in terms of we used to play with our lives. Like, we used to flirt with death, bend it over and do all types of weird shit with it. But suddenly I wanted to live. Suddenly I was concerned. Suddenly, you know what I'm saying? I started feeling my mortality. You know, I felt like a fucking human instead of a superhuman, because you know what I'm saying, I fell in love. You know what I'm saying? This shit made me feel like a person, like a human once again. And then once I woke up, right, I realized that I needed to know some things. You feel me? And my mind was just very intrigued to acquire knowledge. And that I discovered the lecture circuit with Phil Valentine and Bobby Hemmett, and later on Delbert Blair.
Mm-hmm. Peace by Sarah.
And, you know, we had already came from our experiences with Sabi and Mama Pill. And like I said, my grandfather was a griot in the family, you know, and I lived in the streets of New York. So I done seen the 5%ers. I done seen the Ansars. I seen, you know, we done seen it all. I was behind the wall. I got exposed to all of that information. I read the Quran. I read the Bible. You know what I'm saying? I was around some of the sharpest imams and all of that shit.
And to me, that was the seeding process.
Yeah, but, you know, I also was fascinated with street life. You know what I'm saying? I also was fascinated with my immediate surroundings, my band of brothers. You know what I'm saying? The den of thieves. You know what I'm saying? There was loyalty amongst us thieves, though. That's the funniest shit. It was mad loyalty. You know, loyalty was such a key component that you would get killed for being disloyal. That's how strong and you know, you take care of your brother. You don't leave no man behind. So if one of us falls, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's there for that person. You go to jail, they take care of you. They bring your moms up. They bring your shorty up. Like, we was really a brotherhood. Like, it was some real fucking brotherhood situations. I got $1, you get 50 cents. Like, I found that love in the street. You know what I'm saying? There was no community to facilitate that at that particular time. And I didn't want to get down with no club or no organization because the shit wasn't fashionable. I wasn't putting on a Jala beat. I wasn't putting on, you know what I'm saying, some shit that wasn't designer. It didn't make no sense to me in regards of where I was coming from. You know what I mean? But when I got this information and I got exposed to metaphysics and the occult and history from a different perspective, that was a little bit more intriguing than the shit that I keep hearing, you know what I'm saying, the old heads was talking about. I was like, oh, this is that new. I ain't heard this one yet.
Word.
You feel me? When you get exposed to that new, you got to make some decisions. You feel me? Because, you know, like I said, I started feeling like I wanted to live. And then you start becoming cognizant of time. You know what I mean? And then shit just starts playing all types of games with your mind. And you like, oh, I got to buckle down. You know what I mean? If I'm going to study, if I got 3 years that I need to be studying, 3 or 5 years, what's that going to look like in my life? How's that going to work in my relationship? What's that going to look like in my bottom line? You know what I'm saying? Do I have a nest egg that I can put aside to, to fund this research that I'm about to go into this rabbit hole? And like I said, there was no, prior to doing what I did for myself and my, and my small band of people that was doing it at the same time. Shout out Black Dot, brother Chris. You know what I'm saying? The early people at that time, A.A. Rashid was behind the wall, so he had a different environment that he was doing his transformation in. We had to do it in the real world, and there was no precursor to what we were doing, so we couldn't look at nobody and say, "Yo, how do you do this shit?" We had to figure that shit out on our own during the first phase.
We was going to visit him. I remember flying in. I would fly in from Miami. I would fly in from Atlanta and go and visit the brother on the visiting floor. Rashid, bringing him money, bringing him, buying snacks on the floor, but we would talk, we would converse about the possibilities.
Eating up them nasty ass burgers.
Remember them nasty ass? Yeah. We would have vision quests, right? We would visualize on the VI, on the dance floor, on the visiting floor, surrounded by niggas doing 80 to life. You know what I mean? But soldiers, nonetheless. Right. And that's another thing for the brothers and sisters who have brothers and sisters behind the wall. If you do right by them, they will come home and do right by you. Not only do right by you, they may come home and do right by the community. We didn't know that this brother was going to come home and be the fire starter that he is. We didn't know that he was going to do what he did, but he was writing books behind the wall based off of being exposed to consciousness behind the wall. But somebody had to bring it to him. Somebody had to put that in his hand. So y'all got brothers and sisters, uncles, fathers, grandfathers, aunties, mamas, and whatnot. Send them some information.
Send it to them. Yeah.
Write it in the note. Drop some knowledge in the note. I mean, try to figure out how to get, if you got an LLC or 501c3 or you got any of these social entrepreneur groups, try to get behind the wall and talk to the brothers and sisters. Spark their divine spark. Is going it's on your shoulders.
He got us in there. I had my newspaper at the time. So he got us to go behind the wall. I was speaking to large audiences of brothers, you know what I'm saying, in the state penitentiary. And then KT's father, Edward Tate, he had me coming up to Rikers Island. You know what I'm saying? We were speaking to inmates in Rikers Island. You know what I mean?
In peace.
Yeah, rest in peace to that brother as well. Like,
who was a giant who just made transition. Blue, your screen frozen. Is his screen frozen or is just me? Let me know in the chat room. Is his screen frozen? All right. We're going to wait for Blue to come back in. It seems that his screen may have been frozen. Yeah, this is my proposal to the family out there. we should all do a documentary about when did we wake up and what were the teachers? What's that moment that we woke up? We need to talk about that because we might find out that there's a pattern. You know what I'm saying? We may find out that there's a pattern that many of us are following. You know what I'm saying? So think about that. Shout out to Jamal. Peace, King. You know what I'm saying? Is my screen frozen or can you hear me and it's not frozen? My screen is frozen too? I know that there's a delay, so I'll wait to see. All right, you got the cameras. Yeah, like I want to document this mass awakening that's taking place. Don't treat this shit like it's anything, like it's just some regular shit. This is a fucking evolution of consciousness. This ain't no play. Even though it may be fuck shit out there and people have muddied the waters, this is something that is going to be spoken of like other mass awakenings have been spoken of throughout time. You know what I'm saying? So going back to what I was saying, that these elders, these teachers who are great, and remember, the youth don't know about them. The youth don't know about Amos Wilson. You know what I'm saying? Like before Dr. Sebi was going viral, right before he made his transition, there's a lot of people that they did not never hear his name. So we owe it to the ones who have preceded us. You know what I mean? The ones who have came before us, that we're going to immortalize their name. In African tradition, they say, never forget my name, never stop speaking my name. So we have to speak their names so they can stay in existence on the minds of our people. You dig what I'm saying? We have to always their attributes and their names and speak of the greatness that they represent. I'm not here judging nobody. You know what I'm talking about? None of these teachers ever took nothing from me. They never killed nobody that I know. They never hurt nobody. They never abused anybody that I know. They never assaulted, molested, none of that shit. But niggas is saying Bumpy Johnson name. Everybody remember motherfucking Frank Lucas. You know, we talking about, we got all of these DVDs of all of the drug dealers, outposing all of them. We keep their names alive. We keep their legacy alive. We speak of them as if they're our heroes, but there are great ones out there, both men and women, who we don't even talk about. And we wonder why we get lashes. We wonder why niggas is getting hit with lightning. So we and that's not hard work. It ain't, that shit ain't no heavy lifting. That's some other that's why I said your personal journey, your personal story. You don't gotta go and research. You just gotta smoke some good trees and remember that shit. Just go meditate, go listen to some India Irie, you know what I mean, or whatever you gotta do, and remember where you was when you had your first awakening, when you were beginning to wake up. It's not, it don't gotta be one teacher. You don't have to it don't have to be competition. It could be a whole bunch of them. It could be unlimited. Your ass might have binged on 100 teachers. Say all of their names. You might have got one teacher. I remember being 11 years old in the hood in Flatbush. 11 years old, little nigga. And an old dude that I respected. He was a god body. He reached in his back pocket. This was in the middle of a crime. You know, mind you, we doing, you know, we up to no good. He reached in his back pocket and he handed me a pamphlet. And I was an artist. I'm an artist. Me and my brother was into comic books. So I saw comic book characters. I was impressed. Come to find out, that's a Dr. York manual. It was a Dr. York book. You know what I'm talking about? Blew me the fuck away. I'm thinking I'm reading a comic because the shit is science fiction to me. You know what I'm saying? Like he was touching on things that were kind of scientific, you know? And I remember where I was when I first heard Public Enemy's song, Ray Gun. Now we're gonna, what's the name of that? Bum Rush the Show.
Yeah. Now that's Rebel Without a Pause.
Rebel Without a Pause. Pause. Yeah. So I remember where I was.
I remember too.
You know what I mean? I remember that impact. So we all have been impacted. We all have been out. Somebody turned our lights on. You know what I mean? Somebody has given us the red pill. No offense, Blue. And we should honor those people. We should always keep those people's names in our speech, in our lectures, in our teachings and whatnot. Yeah, my mom's brought home that Dr. Yo, Leviathan 666 was the illest shit to me when I read that. I was blown the fuck away. I remember even David Icke books. I was blown away by those with the Illuminati type shit. Tupac woke. I remember I was in the crib. I was on Fenimore Street in Flatbush. Me and A.A. Rashid and our other cousin Hassan, we had a Clue tape, a DJ Clue tape. We was listening to remember Puffy had that song Pray and Pray for My Downfall. We had the original version. Was DMC on the song version or the original?
DMC was on the he was on both. He was on the original, but I think on the Clue mixtape it might have been his raw vocals.
That shit was ill.
Yeah, it was ill. That was Biggie, not Puff. Yeah. Pray for my downfall.
No, Puffy was in the beginning talking his shit.
Yeah, talking his shit.
You know, and Behold a Pale Horse. Illuminati 666.
Yeah, that was my joint. Illuminati 666, Antichrist.
Antichrist? What? Like,
you know me?
I remember I remember reading them shits and being so scared. Remember, we had to look through the blinds because we thought the Men in Black was coming for us.
Yeah. There was though. There was white vans out there. It was
white van. I remember being in the airport. Salute to Rain. I remember being thought that they was coming for us because we had watched the Illuminati VHS tape like 2 days before that. How the fuck do they know that we in the airport? I'm thinking that I bought into that shit, so I understand how people be when they be on their Illuminati shit.
Yeah, real
right.
Talk.
So, you know, all of these memories.
What was it? Millennium 2000.
Millennium 2000.
That was a VHS that we seen. Shout out to my bro Berto. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Berto was a street dude. His brother Pano, he was the big Willie of our area. You know, he actually was the first one to take us out of our neighborhood, state to state. You know what I'm saying? To some of his traps. He was the man out of town.
Yeah, down south.
Down south, Norfolk and all of that. He used to bring us with him, Virginia Beach. You feel me? When it was Black really Fest. Grief Fest and all of that. Myrtle Beach, all of
when Biggie was performing.
Yeah, that whole era. And we was living, you know what I'm saying? Because we was standing next to the dude. You feel me? But his brother had a stream of consciousness, you know what I mean? It was street consciousness. And he passed us Millennial 2000. That was with Jordan Maxwell and a few other dudes that ended up dead. That's what they was first talking about. They was showing you the Easy Pass. They was showing you plans for the Metro card. They was showing you mad shit that came to pass, but they was making it mad conspiratorial. Yo, we got the plan and the schematics.
Yo, you think y'all spooked out now?
Cooking. Son, they was cooking on them VHSs because they had
cooking. There wasn't no internet.
They had the sound, the lighting was a particular way, the way that the cameras was working. The shit was just spooky, yo. Yeah, Millennial 2000, it was cooking on the Y2K before Y2K hit. Yo, they was just cooking. You know what I'm saying? The shit was
spooky. They had the 9/11 shit.
Huh?
The 9/11 shit with Ike.
Yeah. Then I started reading David Icke. I was reading Bigger Secret. I was reading Truth Shall Set You Free. I was reading the Matrix books from Val Valerian.
Yeah, that was hell. Yeah.
Joints was like this thick.
Man
thick. You know what I mean? Like
500, like 800 pages and shit.
It was so much information out there. You know what I mean? That gave us ill perspective. So I read a David Icke book on September 10th, 2001 that said they was gonna take the towers down and blame it on a man named Osama bin Laden. And he was like, watch and see what news network is the first one to report it. But he had this big chapter about Colombia, how they worship Colombia as a god. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? And CBS was the first station 20 minutes after the buildings came down to run this Osama bin Laden narrative. So I was already keyed in because he put me up on game. I read it the night before. And I was up mad late, like 3 in the morning, because I just came back from a victory, tearing their ass up in court, exposing the Matrix, showing Red for the very first time. Look,
No, I
this
saw
shit
that.
is not real. I punched a fucking hole. I
That
knocked the
was my
fucking
red
judge's
pill
head
moment.
off. Like,
Yeah, that was my red pill
that
moment.
was his red pill moment.
Yeah, I seen him in court, shut him down.
Decapitating. Yeah, I decapitated.
You know what I'm saying? Blue pill. He went in that courtroom and decapitated some crackers in Bergen County. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. I was shook daddy. You know what I mean? I was shook daddy. I'm like, yo, you need to sit down with all that talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had the dudes in there with the fezzes on with him. I was like, these niggas gonna get me locked up. I was on parole. I had just came off of boot camp. I was shook daddy, bro. But he showed me, he revealed to me that there was a secret inside of these courtrooms. I ain't know nothing about that shit. I didn't know that you could question them. I didn't know that they shit was fugazi. I didn't know that it was laws on the book. I didn't know none of that stuff.
Yeah, he was totally green. He was oblivious. He was the knuckle dragger that he loves talking about so much.
I was the knuckle dragger. That's
He was
why
the
I'm
knuckle
able to
dragger.
talk about the knuckle draggers, because nigga, I am you. I come from that. You know what I'm saying? I resisted consciousness. I fought this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Physically, I fought him. I didn't want to hear none of that. So when people be like, yo, my family ain't trying to hear me, I'm being called crazy. Like, nigga, I could relate because I was calling this nigga crazy. He actually, for a small amount of time. Let's keep it a buck.
You said what?
I say he actually was crazy for a short amount of time.
Yeah, yeah, it did.
Yeah, he went.
I had a phase. You know what I'm saying? I had a Kundalini burst phase, and then I went through some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I've explained the story before. You can read about it in the book. But yeah, I cut all my hair off. I forcibly went vegan. I didn't even know what that shit really was at the time.
Yo, he was drinking. He was taking what's the name of that shit that make you lose all your weight? The nasty
Oh, bladder.
Yeah, Bladerac. Seymour's Bladerac.
Yeah,
He was drinking
no,
that shit like it was
I
water.
had, yeah, because I had changed my diet and I was like, I want to not eat meat. You know what I'm saying? So my mother and Sabi, of course, they was pressing me like, yo, don't waste our time.
Oh, word. Brother George Nunes said fear of a black and more Messiah woke him up. Hey, you know what I mean? That's what's up. That's an honor. That's a compliment. You know what I mean? You know. But yeah, Blue was, you think he's slim right now. That nigga was like 80 pounds when I came home. I was about to get him locked up so he could go and eat some of the food that I was eating up north. You know? But it is what it is. Everybody had to go through that shit. So when people going through their fire, I'm like, nigga, that's the fire. You gotta burn the fat off. It's a struggle.
We all been there.
You and your chrysalis, you going through the caterpillar butterfly phase. You're gonna be in your chrysalis surrounded in darkness. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be surrounded in darkness. You're going to be hanging upside down, my nigga. Right? People are gonna call you all kind of names. You will be ridiculed. Do you know the kind of ridicule I went through being on 125th Street, standing out there with the fucking crazy black power dudes? That's what dudes in my hood was saying. Yo, the pills done lost it. Them niggas have completely lost their minds. They bumming it. They uptown in Harlem selling t-shirts. They put out an APB on us. Niggas was pulling up, laughing at us. I seen a nigga hiding behind a tree from my hood one day. And this was before smartphones. He was taking Kodak pictures of niggas. They was laughing. They was clowning us because We was those dudes. We was into fashion. We was into materialism. We was into street life. We was into boosting. We was into the girls and all of that. So when we was uptown, it was like we was in a monastery, nigga. We was monks.
Word. Yeah, niggas was monks. We went back into the womb. We got born. We was born again.
Yeah, born again monk.
Christians. Yeah, without the fucking church. So, you know, where we come from, you know what I'm saying, which is the show me state, and everything's about materialism and how much of this you got and how you know what I mean? Like everything was externalized, you know what I mean? But that's the world that we came from. And we were the forebearers of a lot of that in that world.
Yeah, we was putting that work in to build that world.
So when we switched up, you know what I mean, and tried something else out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, his camera was giving him issues, but you know, when we switched up, we went against the grain. We sacrificed. We had all kind of shit in front of us. Like I said, I was in Miami living in a mini mansion in the design district. Chilling. You know what I'm saying? Chilling. You know, and that shit made me feel empty though. I you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't feel no form of fulfillment, bro. No forms of fulfillment.
It came with much sacrifice to our cool points. You know what I'm saying? And where we from, being cool is what kept you alive. Like they was killing niggas that they didn't like just because they didn't like you. Like
just because they don't like you.
I don't like the way that nigga walk. Blah 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 blah. Like that's how that shit used to go. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the way that nigga looked at me, son. Niggas blow your fucking head off.
You was getting bodied off of a look.
Yeah, you was getting bodied off a look. And this is no exaggeration.
And you was getting beat up. You was
no
getting
exaggeration, y'all.
Yeah, you was getting jumped and punked if you didn't dress good. Like if you wasn't clean and shit, niggas was punking you.
Or
shout out to my Haitian brothers and sisters.
Yeah, shout out to my Haitian brothers and sisters.
They was catching hell.
Yeah, if you attempt to put on some fucking threads and integrate into the world of fashion and you don't have a cosign, niggas was stripping you.
Yeah.
I can never forget my first day of junior high school, family. IS 320 Jackie Robinson. They knocked this nigga out his Pumas, son. Like lifted this motherfucker. He flew over the car. You feel me? And they took his fucking Pumas off.
Yeah, it was bad out there.
You know what I'm saying? Did the 100-yard dash.
It was bad.
This was going into school.
Yeah, this was on the day. Yeah, this is the first day on the way into school.
On the way into school.
They didn't, you know how niggas did it after
school. This wasn't lunchtime. This wasn't after school. This was on our way into school. I'm just coming from St. Croix, family. No. Because we went to PS 92 before that.
Yeah, he wasn't just coming.
Yeah, we wasn't just coming through, but still, I wasn't seeing that level of savagery. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't seeing that this was, and I think the niggas that rock homie, they didn't even go to the school. They was like high schoolers. So these was grown ass niggas beating up on little kids. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it was just like, it was embarrassing. You know what I mean? The levels that people would go to enforce, you know, fashion, culture, you know what I'm saying? Materialism. This was the onset of us seeing with unbridled consumerism and materialism, right? For nothing else but acceptance. I want some shit because I can't have it or I don't have it. And I'm willing to do whatever I have to do to get it, to feel accepted, to fill this fucking void, to be in the in crowd. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking down to that because nobody did it better than us.
That's what I'm saying.
When we got into it.
Nothing that we see taking place in Chicago with the youth, in Atlanta with the youth, in Baltimore with the youth, in LA and Oakland with the youth. This is a repeat. They didn't start that shit. They're carrying on traditions. They're carrying on traditions. They're carrying on some shit. They're carrying on learned behavior. It's on the motherfucking shoulders of the people who wrote the code to change that shit. These niggas have a task. Motherfucker, people my age, they can't kick back and just try to ride this shit out. They have a fucking duty. They have a task. They were responsible for a lot of this shit.
Yeah, like it kills me. that these old niggas would have the nerve, especially the
Audacity.
rappers. Even if, and I don't want to shout the brother out because I'm not coming for him, but somebody like Pete Rock, who was on the other side of, you know what I'm saying? Because I consider him like a conscious rapper. You know, Pete Rock and CL Smooth wasn't
Yeah,
hardcore
they
hip
was.
hop. It was laid back. You know, the Reminisce Over You was I can't say it was a conscious song, but it was a conscientious song about losing somebody that you love, and it hit you in the heartstrings, okay, as opposed to hitting you in the root chakra. All right.
Fact.
So they were heartstring rappers. They weren't cerebral. They were heartstring rappers. You know, the melodic rhythm, the strings and everything. So for somebody like him to take an adverse position towards the youth of today, he was surrounded by the nonsense. He might have not been a participant, but we all party to that music. We all listen to it. And what we're not doing is we're not listening to the youth. We're not listening to youthful accounts, right? To say, yo, this fucking music turned me out. This music turned me out. Like I was listening to something Nature Boy did the other day where he was telling his life story. And shout out to that brother because he had a fucking hard life, man. He had a hard fucking life. And his story is mirrored by a lot of these children who came up in the hard scrabble 90s. We're not being 100. We ain't being 100. We're not acknowledging whatever part that we had to play, you know what I'm saying, where we was just partying and bullshitting to this shit, and this shit was affecting the children that were looking at it, who couldn't filter, you know what I'm saying, who had no choice but to hear bitches ain't shit but hoes and trick. We heard that when we was 12 and 13. It changed the way that we interface with females. But what if
Fact.
you was born into that? What if you heard that when you was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? What if you was 0 years old? You heard that from the tummy. Mama was getting turned. You know what I'm saying? She was getting right off the gin and juice. You know what I'm saying? Niggas was doing whatever with her. You dig? We ain't even talking about the crack mamas. We talking about the ones that got turned. That was just part of the party. They was just accessorized with part of the culture. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
They was accessories.
It was accessories. So I came up during an accessorized time. You feel me? And I don't even speak on it like that because it might be received the wrong way. I love women and I have a lot of respect for them.
Yeah. We'll let him come back and finish that statement. You know, but I understand what the brother's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not taking into account our foundation and what the fuck happened to us in our development years as young adults and teenagers, and how much of that shit is still in our system. So once we are able to diagnose self, then you could look at a teenager that's
Yeah.
going through the early phases of what you're in your eighth phase or eighth level. You now could
Right.
diagnose, you could steer them.
So yeah, the whole aspect of being an OG, you feel me? I mean, we kind of lost what the meaning of this word is or what this shit even supposed to look like. Like you're supposed to be there for the youth. You're supposed to be able to lend some sort of insight to reach back and say, yo, son, you know what I mean? We was cutting up during that time and we didn't really have the constraints on the culture or just acknowledge that, yo, the spillover from the music, because we can acknowledge it and say, yo, some of that shit was toxic. The New York rappers, especially the conscious ones, always say, oh, this shit got derailed by West Coast music. But then when they see the results of West Coast music, which later on matriculated into Midwestern and Southern music, right?
Yeah.
When we see the results of that, then we want to be judgmental of them children. No, those children got turned out. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what nobody say. I was incarcerated in 1995 in Virginia. All right.
Yeah.
Under the my case I caught under the old law, which was in '94. When Clinton and them came in with truth in sentencing, they tried it out first in the Commonwealths. Zero tolerance is what they call it, right? Out west they called it three strikes and all of that shit. In Virginia it was called zero tolerance. So being that Virginia is a Commonwealth, what they did is that they brought the federal guidelines into a state system, meaning that whatever time you get 85%. So they were scaling down on parole. So there were children coming into the prison industrial complex system with 35 years for selling 2 dime crack cocaines to undercovers. They were scorching these young niggas. You understand what I'm saying? They have to do 85% of the time. They were 19 and 18 years old with 35 years. And they was in there on playtime, running around. I'm not even going to talk about all that. But when I'm conversating with these youngsters, what they're telling me is like, yo, I learned how to cook work up listening to this music. I learned how to get out in the street because a lot of them didn't even, we were in Virginia. So these wasn't all children coming from Bad News and Newport and all of that. A lot of them was coming from North Virginia, from Alexandria, from Fairfax, where I initially caught my case. You know, communities where they wasn't necessarily in poverty. They wasn't in the hood. Yeah. These was children that were coming from 2-parent households. You know, their parents already bought them the car. They was in high school with whips and everything. They got the Jordans that they needed. They got all of the prerequisite shit to put these fucking little kids in a place to say, oh, my mother never got me nothing, so that's why I sold work. All right? No, these niggas did not need to be selling work on some clip shit like the Clips. All right? Perfect example. From Virginia, they were selling work just to be part of the fucking in crowd because that's what the music was reinforcing and the music was dictating culture. So until niggas is responsible enough to say, yo, we created an entire fucking generation of potential, right? Because what happens when murder rates and crime rates go up in particular cities like New York City, when the crime rate spiked in the early 90s, late 80s, it's because it became inundated in the market. The market became inundated with hustlers that are not necessarily needed to move the market. When you have more hustlers that's necessary, then they're going to start cannibalizing one another. So when I was young, I remember that hustlers had to be ordained to be on the block, right? There was a Willie and he had his crew and they had the block. Another nigga was not necessarily trying to come on the block. There was enough for everybody to eat because everybody wasn't hustling. I remember when I grew up at a time when we looked down on hustlers. Like the shit was a dirty fucking job. I grew up during a time when people looked down on rappers. That shit was a corny ass job.
Right.
Oh, you rap, son? Word?
Yeah,
that's what you do? You're a fucking rapper, huh? Okay. You know what I mean? And it's something that only a handful of people signed up to do. Hustling was a self-contained unit. You know what I'm saying? They had to be ordained by a particular class of people. But then when they got rid of those people and removed them, then everybody came in and flooded the market. And then the market has to balance and stabilize itself. So then the crime rates go up. You know what I'm saying? So then that's what we're seeing in these other communities where people were just hustling just to be, because that's what, right? The preferential thing that a woman now was looking for is a hustler. I want a hustler. I want somebody who's getting fast money. You know what I'm saying? I want a roughneck. They got to blow the bag, such and such. So all of this was dictated by music. All of this was signals that were being sent, right, to their subconscious from the ages of 0-7.
Mm-hmm. Auto-programming.
Auto-program them, right? And then from the age of 7 to 14 on, they're looking at videos, they're looking in the environment, they're listening to mama and overhearing her conversation. They're going to school now. You know what I mean? And this is what society is dictating to them. It's still, until we're ready to have this conversation as grown fucking people, you know what I mean? We can continue to backslide and just be in this victim place where we're just scratching our heads trying to figure out why these little niggas is on lean.
And be on a free Meek shit all day. Free Killer Mike. No, free Killer Raekwon. Free Shooter Ray. Niggas be
free homicide.
Free homicide. Free little homicide.
Free little homicide.
Come on, fam.
Come on, B.
Niggas is
you know crazy. What I mean? So they watching BET Uncut at the age of 7 and 8. You understand? Yeah. They watching Tip Drill. They watching all of this.
They watching the Hustler documentary DVDs and VHSs.
They watching They watching all of the glorifications of every Willie in every neighborhood who terrorized their neighborhood. So they can't even differentiate what they supposed to be doing versus what they not supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Nobody even talks like this anymore, right? It's like everybody's on their cult shit in terms of saying, do what thou will. So why are you even fucking complaining if everybody's doing what thou will? You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't even be looking at a little Uzi Vert or none of them this on these Satan shit because that's the good guys. They're pushing the culture forward. So there should be no complaints. We should be getting a lot further as a society. You know, we should be setting up entire communities that are thought bills. What are we complaining about? There's nothing here to even look at. You know what I'm saying? So what's the next thing? Where we go from here? Like, come on, son. We can't even have grown-up conversations with a level of clarity to say, can we at least take a look at this shit? You know? If you're serious about interceding, changing it, or making sense of it. You dig what I'm saying? Because I don't necessarily know if you can scale it back, but at least you can tell it how it is. You can tell it like it is. You can make sense of it. So you can wrap your mind around it to say, yo, damn, that's what happened. Shit, I need to keep it moving. You feel me? Because I can't change nothing over there.
Where you at, Blue? Okay. Let's wait for him to come back. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat room. I'm gonna log into my Facebook so I could chop it up with some of y'all. Shout out to Joseph. Shout out to everybody. It's too many names to mention right now. You know what I'm talking about. But salute to y'all. You know. You know. But what the brother's saying is definitely on point. You know, it's definitely
I mean, I analyze and then I overanalyze. You know what I'm saying? And I be like, what can we do less of where we don't waste the time that we keep saying is so precious? And that's for the people that want to do something magnanimous. There's nothing wrong with dreaming. Don't ever let nobody tell you that you can't dream. I keep telling you, Donald Trump is president. Like, you can do anything that your heart desires, and it doesn't have to be counterculture to do it. Why we can't get 10, 20 acres and just do us? Why does fucking Black Wall Street always have to be looming over your intentions to do for self? You know what I'm saying? Like, why you just can't do it? Like, who's stopping you? What's stopping you?
With the ending of the story attached to it.
Huh?
The fear aspect attached to it.
Why I gotta always have an asterisk on it? You know what I'm saying? Why you just can't be getting to it and be like, yo, they stopped me when I was 85% there. Why you getting stopped minus 0.5%, which is still the planning phase? You're stopping yourself. So I want to attack the things that are making us stop ourselves so we could keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? So we can stop producing a generation of thoughts. We can stop producing a generation of little pumps. If that's what you so desire, if that's what's making you so uncomfortable, then just do something different. And you have the ability to do that with this thing called life, with this thing called tomorrow, where all possibilities are possible, where all potentiality lies in the second that's in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can get it done. There's nothing in between you doing it and it getting done other than you not doing it. You dig what I'm saying?
Yep.
At least getting it started. You know, it might be a 5 or 10-year project, a program. So what? Why we don't have 7-year goals and objectives? Why we don't have 20-year outlooks? You know what I'm saying? What are your plans for 2044? You know, and y'all got 3 months to get on the road to Wakanda, and you gonna wait to go to the fucking movie to fantasize about the shit, and everybody's gonna be walking around talking about why we can't have this, or why we can't have this, and what are you're gonna be in the realm of theorizing about Wakanda until they hit you with the next Avenger movie, and you're gonna suck more of that up because you need enough, you need to fire your dopamines, you need another fix. You're like, oh, I need to see more of Wakanda. When you gonna get to build on Wakanda? You know what I'm saying? And it don't have to be on a continent. It could be in Barbuda, for all I care at this particular point. It could be in South Carolina with the Geechee. You understand?
Facts.
It could be in Alabama. It could be in Florida, which geologists say is part of Africa. Okay?
That's right.
As well as Alabama. It could be in the Mississippi near the Delta. Land is hella cheap there. Hella.
It could be wherever the fuck you want it to
It
be.
could be wherever the fuck you want it to be. But it needs to motherfucking start being if that's so what your heart desires. You know what I mean? I got some things that I want to do. I got some things that I'm working on. You know what I'm saying? But I learned this past cycle, you know, I'm not like why we got to be the ones to do everything.
I think that we live in a day and time where everything is possible because of not just because of our willpower, but because of technology. We're living in the Bitcoin revolution. We're living in a technological revolution. We're living in a technological evolution. We're living in a day and time of AI. We're living in a time where you could program artificial intelligence to work for your ass. It doesn't have to work against you. There's 3D printing machines that could print your motherfucking village for Wakanda. You understand what I'm saying?
Facts.
There's cryptocurrencies that you could join if you could get 100 of us all together on the same board, or 1,000 of us, where you could basically become wealthy in a few years. There's stocks out there that are exploding. It's not just Bitcoin. You got to buy the stocks for the Oculus Rift before the movie that Steven Spielberg is about to come out with, where he's promoting the Oculus Rifts. Like, there's so many fucking options. But what do they have us complaining about? They have us all living in gentrified neighborhoods. We can't even afford to buy extra. I'm not talking about all of us, but based off of the looks on niggas' faces on the else, we can't afford anything but what it is that we're doing. The bills are killing us. So when you talk about let's be visionaries and let's think about a 5-year plans, motherfuckers is like, nigga, I can't even think about what I'm gonna do next week. Fuck is you talking about 5 years? They got me in the hamster wheel, in the motherfucking on a grind, on a grizzly. So what are we going to create? What are we going to manifest in the now that's going to alleviate that issue? One of the options is to create another income stream. Y'all niggas can still work at your jobs. I'm gonna still do what I gotta do and put food on the table for me and mines. But what about a separate income stream, residual income, where you wake up to money? Do you know how that shit feels when you wake up and you look and you got money just waiting for you? You know what I'm saying? And you didn't have to sell the booty hole. You didn't have to, you didn't have to violate any of the orifices of your body. They didn't have to get penetrated, shit like that. You know what I mean? You didn't have to slide down a pole. We have to begin to have these conversations because they're tangible conversations. There are so many solutions that we could run out of motherfucking digital time to talk about it.
Yo, real talk. And it has to be said that we have to do it. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing more beautiful, resilient, dynamic, or futuristic than a melanated woman. You feel me? We're not doing enough to mine her mind for ideas and solutions. You know, where's the forum that really gives her the opportunity to speak her mind on what do you think? How do you see this shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is your idea? What's your 5 or 7 or 9 or 10 or 11-year plan about how we could get up out of this? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we too afraid to say that we got the idea from a woman and to execute it as men? You know, because as I'm looking, right, I'm sitting back and I'm looking at the dynamic of how these niggas is getting washed in Hollywood and everywhere else. And I was the first one to identify when we saw all of that shit happen after the eclipse You know, anything weather based is dealing with a feminine female energy. The tornadoes, the hurricanes, you know what I'm saying? But the fires that we see out west, we might attribute fire more to a masculine principle. But let's look at what set it off. You know, mama came kicking in the door, waving them 4-4s, going the hell off. So it looks like the celestial imperative that the initial framers understood to say, okay, we got to put Hillary in place at this particular time because this divine feminine energy. Remember, the light from the galactic center takes 4.4 years to get here. So 2012 is when we align with the galactic center, right? That light finally hit the planet around 2016, you know what I'm saying, 2017. So we're living in the throes of the galactic light that has this new light that has hit this planet, this new energy that has hit this planet, which technically is looked at as the ushering in of the era of the age of the divine feminine.
Facts.
Okay, why are we behind, so far behind? And I've already spoken to the community and said, look, even the fact that you're calling it a conscious community, you behind. You know what I'm saying? The subconscious community would be more of an imperative approach towards things because that deals with the feminine aspect of creation, right? The subconscious where you create reality from in your dream state. You know what I'm saying? That's where you program your reality that you play out in your conscious state, which is only 5% of your operations. The other 95% is dealing with subconscious programming. So we don't even want to hear from the women. We want to lock them out. We want them to be subjugated to what the ideas of men are. But men have not come up with the ideas and the conclusions that's going to push us forward. Even the fucking 2020. Show me a 2020 plan. Show me a 2020 plan. 2020 is the future, right? That's some Jetsons shit. What does it look like? It's only 3 years away. Technically, too, because 2018 is around the corner. What's the 2020 plan? You feel me? That's when Trump is going to be up for re-election. Do we even have a candidate? We have any fucking ponies in the race? Because you got to start grooming your horses
Niggas
now.
got the rock. Niggas got the rock.
Got the rock. You still wedging your bets on Kanye for 2020? Huh? Is that the goal? Huh? Or is it fucking Tyrese? Which one is it? Real talk. Like, who are we fooling but ourselves? I'm tired of playing these games. I'm 42. Things done changed when I turned 40. Shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm dealing with time differently now. So, you know, I want to make tangible changes. You know what I'm saying? Coming from this funeral, seeing the great elder, you know, I know that this life is well worth sacrificing if you find a thing to sacrifice it for. You know what I'm saying? We have to find something to sacrifice it for at this particular time. Yeah, I love my family and all of that. I got legacy, all that great shit, you know? But there's something bigger than that out there. There's something much bigger than that. You know what I mean? If we got to be the vanguards that hold the fucking gates open to get the women in just so we can hear what their thoughts and their ideas are. Mm-hmm. Like, when are we going to talk to them? You tried everything else. When are you going to turn to the majority that's in the room and be like, yo, do you have any ideas? God damn it, let's hear them. I think that you would be thoroughly surprised with what you hear. Especially, they keep saying, look, her brain develops before us. You know what I'm saying? She's more intuitive, such and such. Well, you see the waters. You see the weather. You see all of the signs. You see these niggas getting washed up. You see this Jupiter and Scorpio energy. Something showing you that things have changed. There's an ushering in of an entirely different dynamic and paradigm here. When are we going to fall in place to say, damn, we escaped that one, right? Because there's hella scumbags in this community too, right? They haven't even begun that purge yet to start telling you what some of these niggas is into.
I mean, it's shit trickles downhill. So it started in Hollywood, and believe you me, you dig what I'm saying? That purge is on its way.
Right. But yet and still, you know, when are we gonna honor, you know what I'm saying? When are we gonna honor the other side of our brains? When are we gonna honor the other side of consciousness? When are we gonna merge consciousness and subconscious to bring about the superconscious? Because you're going up against superhumans, you're going up against AI in 2020. You're going up against You're going up against an entirely different opponent. This artificial as a motherfucker, but who has reliable data and is very solution based. So we need the unification of the right hemisphere with the left hemisphere to come up with a super conscious approach towards what it is that we're going to do. And we, right, I'm not talking French, I'm speaking about the people who are progressive minded enough to know, look, we can create tangible community where the continuity of our ideas is what we're fighting for. The continuity for our ideas, okay, to have a place in the future is what we're pulling for. All right? You have every right to that. You know, it's going to take some finances because the people who propagate their ideas into the world and society now, they're all doing it with finances.
Yeah, they
Okay?
put numbers. They attaching numbers to that.
That's all they doing.
And it's not even real at
Not,
the end
yeah,
of the
there's
day.
not too many of them that are not doing it without finances. There are
Facts.
ones like, you know, the alt rights and all of them. Like, there's people that are coming up with the ideas that might not have the bag, but the people with the bag is putting the bag behind the people with the ideas, and they're propagating their ideas into the world and conforming the world to their ideas. And the person with the biggest bag, you know, their ideas win. You know, i.e. the Koch brothers. Look them up. KOCH.
Indeed. Real quick, I want to send another rest in peace out to my brother Steven from Flatbush, one of my day ones. Shout out to Duck out there on the stream and whatnot. He just reminded that you know, we had one of our brothers, one of our soldiers got buried today.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the brother succumbed to brain cancer. You know what I'm
Shout out
saying?
to Steven.
Shout out to Steven, you know what I mean? So
These are iconic, you know what I'm saying? Iconic figures in our upbringing and our lives. You know, people that survived the massacres of these streets in New York City in the 90s, 80s and the 90s, you know what I'm saying? Um, you know, just dope dynamic people, man. I've known a lot of dope dynamic people throughout my life, throughout my upbringing, you know, and the possibility to meet so many more dope dynamic people presently, and just the idea of coming into contact with so many more dope dynamic people in the future, and then y'all having dope dynamic little people, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's worth fighting for. You feel me? That's the shit that you want to motherfucking pull a stunt to say, look, if I got to do what I got to do to get this bag, to secure this land or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do that because I want to secure the continuity of these dope ideas with these dope people. And everybody has a right to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's not being a counter government. That's not being an anarchist. That's not being a BIE. That's not being none of them things. That's saying, yo, I'm exercising. Actually, this is full blood fucking Americanism.
that
You know
is
what
amazing.
I'm saying? my right and my plight to freedom, justice, and liberty, and all that other good shit that they talk about is what we need to be concerned with exercising. You know what I'm saying? For those that want to get out of the way, for the other people that seemingly keep falling on one another, falling over one another. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we know that there's like the brother died of brain cancer. You know what I'm saying? We know that those issues are going to be exasperated times 1,000 in the next 10 to 15 years because of the excessive use of tablets. You know what I'm saying? Excessive use of you on the phone, you got a tablet, and you got a laptop, and you got smart TVs in your crib. And shout out to my brother, Joseph Lemaire. He said he works for Amazon, and Alexa is going to be running the crib. Your houses are going to be smart houses. All of that Wi-Fi energy. You know, we haven't even done the knowledge
Yeah, that's
on
Google
on
Nest.
on Wi-Fi. You know, the ELF frequencies. So you got Wi-Fi coming from the fridge. You got Wi-Fi coming from, you know what I'm saying, the wall monitor. You got Wi-Fi coming from the TV. You got Wi-Fi coming from the tablet. You got Wi-Fi coming from your phone. Your whole crib is a microwave,
Facts.
and your whole crib is already you're living in the cribs with the 90-degree corners. So that's all creating positive ions. So all of that energy is gathered in the corners of your house. It's literally like, if you look at it from an energy perspective, from the outside looking in, it's a microwave. So we're sitting inside of microwaves. You feel me? And then, this is what we're dealing with. And we don't know the ramifications of it because they haven't done the studies. Because again, like I said, the people with the bag is the people that are winning. So they are here to propagate their ideas and make their ideas win. So their ideas, look, we don't want to know the truth about what that shit's going to do because we want to get this bag. We want to get this money. We want to sell, we have to reach our quarterly, you know what I'm saying? So we got to sell, we got to sell 100 million iPhones. Like, I don't want to hear the research. It's not imperative. What's imperative is my shareholders.
Do you know where the family
before everybody?
Do you know where the family could find diodes, or do you know what stones the family could seek out in order to help them with the radiation?
Brother Hank Rosin's son, you know what I'm saying? He has furnished me with some diodes. I got two plates on my joint with some stones on top of that. You feel me? I think he got shungite in a lot of this. You know what I'm saying? So shungite is particular. That's the stone that you're looking for. You're looking for Herkimer diamonds. Any dark stones, whether it's tourmaline, onyx, shungite, but shungite in particular, is the top thing on the market right now. This circumventing radiation. I think zeolite is another one, but you can't really get. I think they banned zeolite from coming into this country. So you got to play. You know what I'm saying? You got to do your thing and get your hands on it the way that you can do it. You feel me? But Hank Rosin's son, you can find him right here on Facebook. You can find him on IG. Hank Rosin's son to take care of you with the diodes. Shout out to our brother Delbert Blair. After Delbert made transition, not too many people can get their hands on diodes anymore. Jerry Miller is another brother.
Yeah.
I even might have
the medicine is still running though. The Medicina.
Okay, Medicina 2. You can find that on
Delbert Blair's website.
Yeah, Delbert Blair's website still running. So I guess they got his diodes still. You know what I'm saying? Jerry Miller, right? You can
Sandra
spell it just like it sounds. His wife, Sandra Frazier, they on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? They got diodes as well. I'm gonna see if I got one of them on my phone. I'll be switching up phones. Yeah, it's not in this phone, but I normally have this. You know what I'm saying, in my devices as well. Which reminds me, I got to update this device and put one of their diodes on the inside. But yeah, get you some diodes, family. It's imperative that you are fighting this radiation because they're not telling you none of this information right now. But if you look up the research, you can look up and see that there are people that are independently doing the research that are telling you what levels of radiation that we're being exposed to with these phones. And I'm seeing the women on the train, they got the phones in their bra. You feel me? Like, I don't even say anything anymore. And I don't know if that's bad on me that I don't intervene or interject. You know what I'm saying? It's not that I don't care. It's just that sometimes I'm exhausted. Like, I can't, you know what I mean? I got to reach the people that I can reach. And I can't, or I'm not going to attempt to reach everybody on the planet. At least not right now.
Yeah, just prepare yourself, because when Wendy Williams talks about it, or if they blow it up on a Breakfast Club, then the majority of the people will get it. And unfortunately, that's how things are going these days. And I'm not saying that in no kind of way to ridicule the people, but we're receiving we're receiving those stamps of approval from people that we trust. Our people receive information from people that they deem as trustworthy. And unfortunately, there's no more Gil Scott. No, not Gil Scott. There's no more what's my dude from Like It Is?
Oh, Gil Noble.
There's no more Gil Noble.
Yeah. We gotta bring that back though.
They rolling out of here.
Yeah, they rolling out of here. You know what I'm saying? Roll him up. Rolling.
So
but
black media is intertwined with black gossip, black entertainment, black comedy, Ricky Smiley and D.L. Hewley and all of them. So what we got to do is put the pressure on these new talking heads that are contracted and they can't really say a lot of things. They don't have a free tongue like that.
Nah, I
So
mean, we need to just push all of that out of the way and do our own thing. Like the Young Turks, they not asking permission. Europeans don't ask permission to create media outfits that tell them what time it is. You
they
know what I'm
don't.
saying? Like even Alex Jones is pushing diodes and zeolite and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? At
And
least if you don't do it now, at
monatomic,
some point he was. Yeah, monatomic. Well, they do. What's that silver?
the other version.
Yeah, the other version. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, these people is forward with their information. They're talking about radiation. They're talking about how to circumvent Wi-Fi this and Wi-Fi that. You know, these conversations are taking place in other places. But again, we're dealing with cost versus value. You know what I'm saying? What do our people value? You feel me? And how does that value uh convey into cost? Like, are people paying for the things that they value? Like I got gold for sale for $50, liquid gold, monatomic. You know, people be telling me mad stories about, yo, I heard about the gold, I heard this and I heard. I'm like, I got it, what's good? Oh, so how much is it? And then I tell them the price, and then they be like, oh, I can order from you. I'm like, it's right here though. You was just telling me how much about gold you heard, and you want to have lucid dreams and trigger your third eye and all of this. You know what I mean? We don't have the value. We don't put the value to what it is that, you know, we feel that we need or we want to further explore, you know. But if anybody do want to get some, it's Soul Gold Biz, SOLEGOLDBIZ.com. And that's
I'm
that
gonna put
liquid gold, and we got platinum and monatomic silver, and y'all can get the silver instead of the flu shots right now. There's alternatives to all kind of stuff. Greenleaf-herbs.com. You don't have to wait to the new year to get your herbs and, you know what I'm saying, get your weight loss program together. KT the arts degree, you know what I'm saying? He got his herbs. You don't gotta wait until the New Year's or whatever scheduled time that you want to get on a good health regimen to just do it for 30 days. And if you see results, you're going to stick with it for another 15. And if you don't, you're going to fall off for the rest of the 320 days out of the year. Like, come on. When are we going to get tired of this shit? You feel me? When are we going to demand more of ourselves to be like, look, you know, we got this. It's just an issue of making our minds up and making some dynamic shit happen. Because if they can do it, why can't we? Okay? If
right.
we share the same air, we breathe in the same air, we drink in the same water. You feel me? And yeah, we got issues as a people, but they keep telling you on TV they got fucking issues too.
Mad issues,
Okay? Bad issues.
more
You don't
issues than the
know.
sports.
You don't you're not exposed that much to the articles, and you know what I'm saying? They really talk about the depths of their fucking issues. They got issues. Right? I'm about to put you onto a secret. There's nobody here that don't have issues. Okay? There's nobody here in this country
We live in an imperfect world, and
that don't have issues. There's really
you
nobody
look
on
for
this
flaw, you're
planet
gonna find it.
that don't have some sort of issues. You feel me?
Somebody said they're on a site now. Which one is the liquid gold?
The one is the liquid gold. It says liquid gold. Soul Gold, SOLEGOLD. You know, it says liquid gold. It's the one with the commercial. Um, yeah, you know, the brother was talking about, you know, a few years ago, I think it was like '03 when I got radical with my diet and I just wanted to be a vegan. I went cold turkey off. The last thing that had me was chicken cutlets. I had just learned how to cook. I was like, come on, son, you bugging. I'm cooking up these cutlets. You know what I'm saying? I was whipping up the motherfucking red beans with the yellow rice with the cutlets. And I got to stop to become a vegan. So I went cold turkey and I started drinking sea moss, and I was taking the wrong batch. You know, my mother had some mixed with bladder and I was drinking the sea moss in the bladder and I dropped mad weight.
Finish him.
All my baby fat was gone. Like I'm putting up old modeling pictures and seeing what I look like with a full face, and I'm kind of jealous of myself. But I I had the bladder rack, and that shit just made me lose mad weight. And I'm like, yo, like we still haven't dealt with the weight loss shit in our community yet. Like, how can I accidentally lose mad weight and people are seriously looking to lose weight and they haven't figured it out yet? So I gotta go and bring the sea moss and bladder rack out. Now watch how many people try to follow that shit. And I'm like, why wasn't you doing this shit before I did it? Or why you don't want to come and partner with me and do what I'm doing, but you want to rival me? Watch how this shit goes. Okay? So we're gonna have some magic weight loss shit at the beginning of the new year because it actually works. You feel me? It actually works, but you really have to be a scientist to pull it off because it really deals with the concentration of, pairing. You know what I'm saying? You could cause some real issues if you don't know what you're doing.
Fact.
So, you know what I mean? Peace, God. Yeah. So that's what it is on that. You feel me? Hold on 1 second, Fanny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, that bladder rack, you know what I mean? Look that up. Like Blue was saying, that's an excellent supplement for weight loss. I personally saw that shit work very fast. You know what I mean?
Quick in a hurry.
Very quick in a hurry. You know, it deals with griping, right? No, Cascara Sagrada.
Oh yeah,
Remember that?
Cascara.
How
Yeah.
Chris used
Whew.
to have us take the Cascara Sagrada.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yo, when you in the bathroom, that shit feel like yeah, everything is Mike. You know what I mean? Like the griping aspect of it, that was something else. But it's worth it though because we got so much
Cascara
stuff.
Sagrada is is
Um,
is is
I would
powerful.
spell it out.
Yeah.
Cascara.
Yeah. Shout out to Hafisa. Shout out to A Rashid. Shout out to good
Yes.
brother Ashraf. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Ashra.
Just
You know what I mean?
like life is an amazing things. You know what I'm saying? There's so many people, like you said, the brother Duck, like on the call, the brother Steven. Like there's no person that I've ever came out into contact with. Shout out my brother Pac Enzo. There's nobody I ever came into contact. Shout out my brother Joseph. Nobody I ever came into contact with in my life that I didn't learn something from. You know what I'm saying? I've never met an undynamic person in my life. You feel me? Everybody has qualities. Everybody's a
Divine spark.
superhero to some degree. Everybody's a divine spark. You know what I'm saying? I
It's
walk the
like
earth
yeah,
and
it's like those superhero movies.
I see divine sparks. Now, there's divine sparks to the like the spark is it might be covered with a lot of feathers of like how they wrap mummies and shit. You know what I'm saying? So there's still some people in this community that got dirty raps. You know what I mean? They have pungent raps on and shit like that. Open wounds that need to be cleaned. That they've let fester. But other than that, underneath all of that shit, there's still a divine spark.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Um, is there another kind of sea moss drink I could drink? What I'm speaking about is a sea moss combination with another herb that makes you lose weight. That's why I got a thin ass face right now. If you look at my old pictures, I ain't have a thin ass face. Okay, that shit ate up all of my fucking baby fat. You know what I'm saying? It made me mad small, mad quick. It burns fat. I don't know anywhere that they sell it. Okay. Like I said, you have to be a scientist to be able to put the right concentration of the herbs together. My mom, mama used to make it and Sadie used to make it. They're not, she's not making that version of the sea moss that she makes. And Sadie, of course, he's no longer with us. So I'll have something like, I'll have it available in the beginning of the year. I can't stop what I'm doing right now. But I know when people get into this whole holiday thing and, regiment, losing weight and all of that stuff,
New Year's
New
resolutions.
Year's resolutions, we're going to have a workout a regimen put together. We're gonna have meal plans. We're gonna have the CMOS with the bladder rack and all of that to help the family out. So that's like just 2 or 3 weeks away. You feel me? We'll have that up and popping. You know what I mean? I want to help you get to where you need to go. You know, so we could talk about the bigger things. You know what I'm saying? We could start dreaming collectively together. You know, we can not be afraid to use our imagination. Like I said, we can step aside for a second and hear what these women got to say. You know what I'm saying? Are there solutions out there? You know, what's your take on it? You know what I'm saying? What's your perspective? I need to know that. So I'm very optimistic about, you know what I mean, what we're looking at, you know what I'm saying, the future, because
I
there's
feel
a
I
there's a
feel that
lot of there's a lot of availability, you know what I mean? There's a lot of availability, there's a lot of open space, there's a lot of options that are still on the table. You feel me? With people that are very much disavowed with things the way that they're going at this particular time. So the potentiality for change is strong. You know, people want something different. They want something else. If not for themselves, definitely for these babies. You know what I mean? So why not? You know what I mean? Why not do something different? Why not do something new? Why not say, look, I'm on the other side of this purge that's taking place and I survived. Therefore, I feel like I have this new breath of air and I can do whatever I want with it. You know what I mean? And yeah.
the the well, I look forward to that. 2018, we need to do more gatherings, more
Yeah.
retreats.
Yeah. We doing more retreats. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my sister Kayla. You know, we're gonna be going to the Redwoods. We're gonna be doing something in the Redwoods. I spoke to my family up in Shasta. You know, I got to go out there and dialogue with them so we could get some dates set up for that. Um, we want to go somewhere internationally. You know what I'm saying? We want to take the family outside of the boundaries of the continental United States. We want to go and do something major. We're going back to Arizona in February to the Rock and Mineral Show. We're going to be setting up a situation where people can invest in that, venture. You know what I'm saying? Because every time I go there, I'm running into people with mines, diamond mines, gold mines, all sorts of other precious metals who never see melanated people at these events that don't know that we're interested in any of these things. And they just start opening doors like, oh shit, you know, come do this, come do that. So I be having mad opportunities to get involved with things that I can't handle everything on myself. You know what I mean? I'm not in a position to juggle it all. I really wish that I was on my Tony Stark shit and I can knock it all down and be the titan in the industry and all of these different fields, but it's going to take some time. And after hearing what I heard this evening, it makes me even more confident, you know what I'm saying, to know that because niggas are way on you to be like, oh, you've been here in this community for X amount of years and you don't have this and you don't have that and you didn't do this and you didn't do that. And if you listen to that shit, you know what I'm saying, that shit'll have you like Pookie at night, son. You're gonna fucking start abusing hard substances because it's gonna start seeping into your consciousness and you're gonna start believing that shit. Like, damn, I'm a failure at consciousness. You know, I didn't save the world yet. I'm responsible for Trump. Yo, niggas said that last year this time. They was like, yo, y'all niggas is responsible for Trump because y'all was doing all of them videos knocking on Hillary. You know what I'm saying? Because of y'all, black people didn't vote. And y'all got y'all by proxy, Trump is president because of y'all.
I could wear that. I could live with that. Gave you niggas a chance to wake up. The young guard in the chat said to talk about the ayahuasca. If you could build about if there's a possible retreat dealing with some shrooms, some ayahuasca, basically some real
Well, I mean,
medicinal.
I'm very careful and mindful. You know, shrooms is class one. drug according to the feds, and family, we know we being monitored. You know what I'm saying? And I I have the freedom and the liberty to speak with freedom and liberty about a lot of things, but I don't want to put you in a bag. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to put you in a situation, and I don't want to put nobody else that's dealing with that level of freedom in a situation. You know what I'm saying? But I will speak on my own personal experiences, um, to say that, well, I'll say this, there's a lot of research that has recently been put up online, you know what I'm saying, about ways to deal with, they found all of these alternative methods to deal with depression, to deal with anxiety. Now, depression and anxiety are two of the causes for the booming drug industry right now. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah,
call it Anxiety USA. You feel
facts.
me? They call it depression. It was Depression USA before that. That's where the Prozac, Ritalin, and all of that came in. The anxiety is from the lack of patience, right? We live in, they say
Percocets.
that, yeah, we live in a fast paced society, but there's ramifications to that. There's real clinical disorders, and you know what I'm saying, and shit because of that, because of this smartphone, and because the way that things are moving, lightning,
Thing is lightning
the
speed.
quickening, that is causing anxiety. You know what I'm saying? There's really no patience in society. Everything is dealing with this level of anxiety. So that's where the perks and the Xannies and all of this other stuff is coming through. You know what I'm saying? That's where Oxycontin and all of these things is all feeding Anxiety USA, Depression USA. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So they have found clinically, right? They have medical research that's been done that says, look, magical mushrooms abate all of those symptoms. If you're going through depression, you know what I'm saying? Magic mushrooms will help you out. Microdosing in particular. You dig what I'm saying? Now, I'm just saying that I don't know where to get them. You dig? But when we go on retreats, there's places in nature that you can find them because they grow in nature, right? Just like marijuana do, but they grow in nature. So sometimes we might be able to steer you to where you can go and pick them for yourself. Dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely, I totally dig what you're saying.
You catch me? Okay. So,
Like that.
like that. Ayahuasca. I had some ayahuasca ceremonies that I attended. Um, Ayahuasca is a very powerful medicinal plant. You know what I'm saying? They identify it, they call it grandmother, you know, and it really puts you in contact with your shadow self, you know what I'm saying, with your inner self. If people are going through debilitating cases of um, abuse, the ramifications of abuse, right, which fracture your mind mentally. You know what I'm saying? You're going through something in your mind. It's not so much that you're still hurt, you know what I mean? And your body, it's your mind that's playing tricks on
Mind is
you.
fractured.
It's your mind that's fractured. It's your mind that needs the healing. You know what I'm saying? And they could put you on a psychotropic. That's not going to help you. That's further going to put you into the rabbit hole. You could smoke all of the weed that you want. That's not going to abate these issues. You're going to have to go a little bit deeper. You know what I'm saying? Ayahuasca strips you down and it makes you deal with these things directly. You're going to have to go through the chambers, but it's a hallucinogen. So you're going to see some shit that might freak you out. But the things that you're seeing that are freaking you out are all projections of what's going on in your head. This is your shadow self. You know what I'm saying? Yes, and then you got DMT, which is a whole nother situation. It's another situation. Yeah, we're gonna put something together, and it's gonna be outside of the confines of the jurisdiction. You know what I'm saying? Of this corporate entity called the United States of America. That's where we're gonna have to go a little bit into the further. You know what I'm saying? Outside of this genre to experience, but it's doable. You know what I'm saying? I definitely know what to do and how to get to, get done what needs to get done for us to experience this level of freedom. You know what I mean? Just don't be no wusses about it. Because again, you know what I mean? This is you dealing with you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't putting these things on you. You know, you don't got to deal with my demons. I got to deal with my demons. You feel me? And
Yeah.
I've been in situations though where we got to deal with your demons too. And I'm at this particular point in my life where I'm like, you know what? It's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's just what we're here for. We were put in situations in some of the retreats where we had to help people deal with their demons. And we were successful. We helped them and they dealt with them. The shit wasn't pretty, but it got done. And that's what the fuck I signed up for. You know what I mean? And people showed up that actually needed help. So there was nothing left to do but to help the people that needed help. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know if everybody would be built for that. But you can't weigh yourself against what everybody else do or don't do. You know, if you put a calling out that you got to at least show up and facilitate, you got to do your part. You know what I'm saying? And I was honored to do that. It made me a better person, actually, from doing it. It taught me a lot more about myself that I needed to know to build my confidence.
I mean, to keep it a buck, we touched on earlier this drug epidemic that's taking place in the culture. And when you get to talking to these youth, you know, case in point, the story about Little Peep, right? Little Peep was a European, a Caucasian, a Neanderthal, and he was identified as bisexual, right? He was supposed to be, I think he was with McConan or whatever.
Oh, that.
Yeah. So his autopsy showed 10 different drugs in his system.
God damn.
They were saying that he died from the what's that? The fentanyl.
Fentanyl, yeah.
Yeah. They said that the Xanny was cut with the cheap version of the fentanyl, and that's what killed them. But they were describing drugs that I never heard of that he took. When you speak to some of these youth, the little Uzis of the world, you know, and I'm not, they're the figureheads that are promoting it. You got a whole generation that's taking it. You know what I mean? The youth that are in Chicago sipping on the lean and whatnot, they're saying that because of the murders, because of the fact that they lost their homies, because of the ongoing war, they're self-medicating because of the pain, right? The Little Peep dude and whatnot. He said that I was watching a video. I did some research. He was like, you know, he's on all of these drugs. He's trying to get off of them, but they're numbing him to the pain that he feels when he looks in the mirror. Remember,
that's what all of them are saying.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So these children are on psychotropics because I was in a situation where I got exposed to the youth when they were taking what is called the Xannies or the bars. I was in Detroit and they were explaining to me that there's an epidemic in Detroit called thrill killing. Thrill killing is, you know, they're carjacking people and just bodying them. They in a gas station, they'll rob a person, but they're killing them because they're on the Xannies, and the Xannies make you black out. So these psychotropic drugs are bringing people's shadow self out, and they're basically killing people and waking up. You know, once you come down and whatnot, then you realize what you've done. So people are literally out of their minds on these beans, on these pills, on this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I remember having a shadow body out of body experience. What was I off? 151. That's what it's called. If that shit is anything like
took off, you took off.
I took off. Niggas taped me, son. I was a different person. You feel me? I was in my primal state. You know what I mean?
Not a good drunk.
I could have did some crazy shit. So that's just alcohol. That's the spirits. You know
what I'm saying is,
I could imagine.
Look,
what a psychotropic is.
I'm talking about you could look in their eyes and they're not there. You feel me? They're not there. I'm looking past the eyeball into some deep shit. And I'm like, yo, this is kind of scary because there's nothing worse than somebody that's unpredictable with an extendo clip. So you got this situation with these psychotropics. You got these children out here, they're hurt. They've been traumatized as youth. We talked about this with the fact that we don't know what because we went through our crack era in New York in the 80s, right? They going through their crack era in the late 90s, early 2000s, the whole Jeezy era, the BMF era. There's places that went through that shit that time. So these children that are 18 and 19 years old, they was exposed to the trauma that brings all the way back then. So now you have people who are legitimate zombies. When they had all of these zombie movies coming out, watch out for the apocalypse and all of that, we couldn't necessarily figure it out. But with the opium epidemic going around all of America, with the K2 epidemic, remember it started with the bath salt propaganda
right.
in Miami, who bit the other one's face off.
Right.
So
and niggas was quietly like, I need some of that.
Niggas was like, yo, that shit look kind of litty. So
he was like, he bit a fit. I need some of that.
Face off?
I knew that was marketing. I was like,
that was mad. That was a marketing campaign. That shit made motherfuckers go harder.
I was like, you can't keep niggas away from some shit like that.
The propaganda, though, right? The propaganda that's aligned with the rap game now is fear of The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead was the first programming. Then they came with fear of The Walking Dead. So The Walking Dead is like, who are the zombies? I don't know. You know what I mean? Then you start seeing zombies. Then you're like, oh shit. And remember, in The Walking Dead, the zombies are of all nationalities. This is not a white or black thing because they got their own kind zombied out now. So if one of the most popular shows in all of the world, not just America, you got Game of Thrones with the whiting, they got their own version of Walking Dead, the White Walkers, right? Mm-hmm. Then the second most popular show is The Walking Dead. Then they follow that up with Fear of the Walking Dead.
No, look, but before that, you had Breaking Bad.
And Breaking Bad with the meth and all of that. But I'm talking about the programming of The Walking Dead, basically killing the zombies, headshots, right? Mm-hmm. So you talking to some people that these people are known to be serial, you know what I mean? The viewing audience, they playing video games, shooting shit the fuck up, Grand Theft Auto and all of that. They've already shown you with all of these mass murdering and killings that are taking place in America. These people are very unstable. You know what I mean? So you have a volatile situation, a powder keg in America right now taking place with these zombies that are running around, not just in the opiate, not in the Vermont, in the white community. People don't want to talk about what the black community is going with the mental health and with the zombies. So, you know, it's a lot of shit taking place, and budget cuts are on the horizon. They talking about cutting all of the budgets of all of the things. You know what I mean? Like, it's all of these things that are looming over our heads. So what you're talking about this healing situation is very important. This mental health situation is very important, because I would hate for our brothers and sisters who are embarking on this journey or on this path of enlightenment to go into that realm where they become zombies, because like you said, people are they're not, some people are getting this information, but some people are not able to take all of this information and do something with it. They're not utilizing their creative skills. They're not utilizing their alchemy skills. They're taking in all of this information overload, but there's no outlet. We have an outlet. We get to have these live streams. This shit is therapy. We get to talk. What about the brothers and sisters who live in Boise, Idaho, and there's nobody to talk to? They cannot, and everybody's calling them crazy. Eventually, they'll become crazy. So we have to create more outlets for people to express themselves. We have to create more outlets to encourage people to focus on their not just mental health, it's spiritual health. I was listening to a Manly P. Hall lecture, and he was talking about bad eating. But bad eating is not what you put in your mouth. It's also what you put in your eyes and your ears. We're bad eating every fucking day. You got niggas that's on a whole food diet. They eating quinoa salads, listening to Uzi Vert. Watching Housewives. You on a badass diet, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, you a savage vegan. You know?
Oh man, you said a savage vegan.
We have to be mindful of what we're eating, meaning what you're listening to, what you're watching, what you're paying attention to. Kale is not going to solve all that shit.
It's not. No.
Not.
Moringa's not.
Moringa's
It's not gonna cure it all.
End all be all, my niggas.
Yeah.
Ain't no Moringa earphones. How about that? So, somebody said it's holistic. Hey, if that's what it is, then you know it is.
Wait,
what it is.
What's holistic? Uzi Vert?
Yeah, Uzi Vert and Kale.
Hey,
and Housewives. It's the balance. It's my aunt, my nigga. It's my aunt. You know. So I talk about
the company you keep. You know what I'm saying? What shoulders you decide to cry on? You feel me? Are you empowering a frenemy? You know what I'm saying? All of that shit is gonna come back toxically to offset. You know what I'm saying? The level of homeostasis that you're working so hard to achieve. You know, when you find out that you was pouring into an open container and your shit spilled out on the other end, they took all your information and filtered it all around the community. You know, you got to really make sure that, you know, the people that you're confiding in are leak proof. You know what I'm saying? Because that can cause all sorts of issues. That could put you into depression. You know what I mean? That could put you into a level of just like feeling that the whole world is against you. Your mind's gonna start playing tricks.
You could turn into the little Keaton.
Yo, sir, I don't know. My timeline must be different because I didn't even know who this dude was until
How the fuck
started
you
showing
know
up.
about Keaton?
They started showing up with the KKK pictures, and I'm like, is that the little nigga from Toxic Avengers or Goonies? Like, who the I'm like, black people fell for this shit. I ain't fucking with black people, man.
They fell for some inbred shit, bruh.
I ain't fucking with black people, man. Get your mama.
Yeah, we got a long way to go, man.
Get your mama. Oh man,
they pull a Christmas jukes on a mid Christmas jukes on niggas.
They ran with the bag.
They ran with the bidag. They got the Goyard bag.
It was cyber shaking.
Yeah, cyber shaking. But we have to be mindful. We could laugh at it now, but cyberbullying. Go and watch The Matrix. There's a scene in The Matrix where he explains the power of the Matrix or this cyber world. He said in The Matrix, if you die in the Matrix, you die in the real world. Okay? People is like, oh, I used to get bullied when I was young. Nigga, you don't know what the fuck the difference between cyberbullying and schoolyard bullying. It's a whole nother game. They making videos go viral. At least when you got washed up in the fucking schoolyard, it spread to the other school, maybe down the block. You know what I mean? Niggas by the store knew about it, and that was about it. Now they're leaking young girls. They leaking sex tapes of young girls. They leaking rumors. They leaking all kind of crazy shit. And people are taking their lives because it's the same thing that we said. If you die in the Matrix, you can die in the real world. Motherfuckers walking around feeling empty because they're getting washed up online.
Yeah, imagine that. Getting aired out. Their avatar getting aired out. and then they feel hollow. You know what I'm saying? And
Facts.
their physical being feels hollow, vulnerable,
Yes.
exposed. You know what I'm saying? Like
People walking by you, you don't know who saw your video.
yeah, like whew, it's a dangerous game. You feel me? It's a dangerous game. Like trolls is dangerous.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, they are.
It's especially, you know, we're talking about a society that for the most part, you know what I mean, is not mentally stable from different shit. Now, I'm not saying that I'm even mentally stable. You know what I'm saying? Like there's this, I mean, it's just shit that we all have our own little hangups about whatever we have our little hangups about. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we deal with in the shadow. That's what some people deal with it in public. You know what I'm saying? To deal with it. You feel me? Internet has become a platform for some people to deal with it in a grander audience. Some people are extroverted, some people are introverted, some people got to deal with it still in their shadows. Some, you know what I mean? So with all of that being said, and then, you know, because we live in a manufactured, manicured society, especially online, on Instagram in particular, you know, they're like, yo, I got to be perfect. And this shit is archived. You feel me?
Facts. And
So,
you're following a
yeah, like,
manicured, manufactured reality. This is worse than reality TV. Reality TV scripted. The shit that I've seen, motherfuckers fronting online and how they put on the show is beyond scripted. So now people are following somebody else's reality that is a false reality that they have created that's not real, and they're trying to live up to that. And there goes the insanity right there. That is that's the foundation, and you cannot win on that foundation. That shit is, you're standing on quicksand.
facts.
This shit worse than reality, fam. It's the devolution, it's the mutation of the show. This some other shit. This not even catfish no more.
It's not even catfishing.
It's not catfish. You
Some
know.
other shit.
So, but it's somebody said, but keep in mind, it is encouraged. There's nobody rallying against it. Cardi B is not telling her followers, don't follow me. It's encouraged. When they created the term follower, mentally, subliminally, subconsciously, whatever you want to say, that shit has created a different kind of mindset. Maybe not to you because you're truck tight in your consciousness, but what about the impressionables out there? What about the babies? I was on Facebook and they had a meme where they had a breakdown of all of the you know how they got LOL, laugh out loud, like all of the abbreviations of the new terms. My goodness, the shit that they saying, you know, there's a code POS, parent over my shoulder. Nah, I'm dead ass. POS, parent over my shoulder. There's all kind of shit. Take your pants off now. Let me see you. You know what I mean? All of these abbreviations, all of the parents that are out there, you better find out about these fucking code words that these youth are using. But now you got these pedophiles online, catfishing your daughter, catfishing your son. My son, 10 years old with a fucking iPhone. The children got they online. They got their phones now. So
Facts.
we got to really pay attention to this new realm, this new digital realm. And they about to go into virtual. They about to put on the Oculus. Motherfuckers going to be running up on them in virtual, doing whatever they want to do. So we are chartering real murky waters right now, choppy waters. The only way to combat it is to be involved. There are coders out there. There are people who are they're knowledgeable about the future. They're knowledgeable about this realm, this digital realm. It is your duty almost to begin to come into the community and teach the people who are computer illiterate about what the fuck is going on.
Right.
Because people want them dopamine. You're not gonna, once somebody feel the release of them dopamines, you're not gonna tell them that they can't get their daily dosage of dopamines.
Facts. You can't scale that back.
Can't scale that back.
After you've exposed them to it. Take it from somebody who knows.
Yeah, is it cocaine that releases dopamine?
Yeah.
So cocaine, the addictive substance of cocaina, releases the dopamine from the brain. But when a motherfucker press like, it releases the same dopamine.
Facts.
What video was that where the dude from Facebook was talking about social media and how it has compromised society?
I'm about to drop that on them right now.
Oh,
this is your homework assignment, family. This is a gem. Like, you know what I mean? I'm sharing this with you because I love you. It's that real. You know what I mean? This video is everything. You know what I mean? He was at Facebook. So he helped them put the whole paradigm together. They put the whole paradigm together, you know what I'm saying, to tweak the subconscious, you know. And he's also a social venture capitalist. He's telling you what the imperative is to get the bag, how you can thrust your ideas into the world. So perspective wise, you know, to kind of like further understand what I was talking about, or understand or whatever, check that video out. You know what I mean? But
somebody said, "What's the link?" The link was just dropped into the chat. Go and see under Know the Ledge TV.
Yeah, I just dropped it in the chat room. You know what I'm saying? I just dropped the link in the chat room. It's imperative that you know, that you listen to what's being said, because these are the engineers that put the shit together, and he don't use it. He don't let his children use it, and he tells you why. You know what I'm saying? And he's a billionaire. He got the billies. He's up there with Billy. He's in the Billionaires Boys Club. You know what I mean? But he's all about social change at this particular point. He wants to utilize his moolah, his money, as a tool for social change in the world. He wants to propagate his ideas into society. He wants to utilize money for power. Okay, not for abuse, but for power. So
yeah, we pinned it.
Yeah, perspective wise, you know what I mean? It's good just to see what's being said. You know what I'm saying? What are the prevailing thoughts that are, you know, being talked about out there in society right now from the thought leaders? He said it's 150 people that run the world, just 150.
Sure.
He said he met a few. You know what I'm saying? He said he met a few. I guess these are niggas they run around when they talk about the Illuminati. And I don't know Illuminati shit per se. I'm just saying that he identified as a small segment of people with the bag. We talking the real bag. Not that shit the niggas is talking about in music. You know what I'm saying? And
the Goyard bag.
These are the people who are thrusting, yes, their ideas into the larger dynamic of the world, to the 7 billion of people on the planet that are subjugated to these people's ideas because they have money and influence. That's all. You know? So yeah, you know, not on no Illuminati shit, just influencers. You know what I mean? People who are that cunning to say, I know exactly how to get this thing done. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go and get the bag, and then I'm gonna put all of my pieces in place, and I'm gonna execute. You know what I'm saying? And it's a race to see whose ideas catches on. You know what I mean? It catches most of the social capital. You know, meaning how many of the 7 billion are now also invested in these ideas or subjugated to the effects of these ideas.
That's right.
So look, I'm gonna drop the bomb on myself. Okay. And I'm gonna say we're embarking on 2 a.m. I gotta get to the elder's funeral tomorrow. It's at 10 a.m. in Harlem.
Yes.
So, you know. YouTube, I'm sorry.
But you got a delay?
Nah, it was a tool. I ain't pressed pause. I let it kept running and
Oh.
bled into the next video. Funk Flex, you know. But yeah, so please, you know what I'm saying, give the people some parting words. I don't even wanna put no more air underneath the roof. I dropped that link. You feel me? I need the family to go and check that out. You know what I'm saying? Check this individual out. See what he said about the fact that he ended up becoming a billionaire. He ended up he was an engineer at Facebook. He came up with some of the technology that made Facebook do what it do. He got on as a result of the Rodney King riots in LA, right? Canada responded to what they saw black people doing in America, cutting up. They's like, yo, we don't want this in our backyard. Let's create jobs and opportunities for black and brown children. He was a beneficiary of that program, and it put him in position where he got into a company where he got mentored and tutored by a billionaire. All right. And then he started making his way through the waves. And then he ended up at Facebook later on, and he changed history and was able to walk away, you know what I'm saying, with the bag. Now he's worth $1 billion some change, you know what I'm saying? Uh, uh, Propagating his ideas into the world.
Let me just share something real quick. The name of the video is Chamat Palihapita. He's Indian. I don't know how to pronounce that. Founder and CEO, Social Capital on
Social capital.
On social capital on money as an instrument of change. The video is in the chat room. We pinned it. It's pinned, meaning that it's at the top. It's under
Right.
Notalege TV. Shout out to Q Butter out there in the
Shout out
chat.
to Q. Yeah, you could go to Stanford Graduate School of Business. That's what the YouTube site that this particular video was on. But I definitely wanted to expose you to some different perspective, to some talk, some billionaire talk. You know what I'm saying? So we can think like globalists in regards to saying, look, we can indoctrinate our ideas into the planet. You know what I'm saying? We can use capital as change to propagate our propaganda. All right. You gotta have some propaganda though. You know what I'm saying? It's worth propagating.
That's where the creatives come in.
That's where the creatives, that's where the think tanks.
That's where the think tanks come in.
Hopefully that's where the doors is gonna be open, where they could allow some of the women in so we could hear what the other idea from the other part of our brain has to say. You know what I'm saying?
Ultimately, they're gonna give birth to the ideas.
Ultimately, you're gonna need them to birth the idea anyway.
You done know.
You ain't gonna get the shit by rubbing two sticks together. I'm sorry.
You done know. So we're gonna end it on that. Like I said, we have a funeral to attend in the morning for Dr. Jack Felder.
Yes.
Friday, we have a listening party for the brother Rich and Cambada, the EP that they're putting out called Black Magic. That will be taking place at Black Magic Studios in Brooklyn. I think we'll be live streaming from the studio this show. So the family could be a part of that. We have Lord Jamar as a host.
Yes.
We're going to be pushing our version of Hip Hop God Hop 2018. We're working on tour dates and everything, like
propagating our
propaganda. You know what I'm saying? Utilizing mediums that will get us into a larger stream of consciousness than just doing lectures, because music has a power. We have to weaponize that power for our benefit. Facts. Peace to King Simon, legend.
Shout out to Shooting Simon. Peace, Simon.
Yes. Shout out to Simon. So we want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. You know what I'm saying? Being with us until 2 a.m., getting this information. You know, and we got more to talk about. We're going to get into the AI. We're going to get into virtual. We're going to get into D-Wave.
Yeah,
we're going to
get back to Bitcoin, you know, the cryptocurrency conversation.
Bitcoin, yeah. We're going to have a futuristic narrative that is going to, it's going to move us in a better place. Y'all want to talk about that money, that Bitcoin, that cryptocurrency? We got you. Go and watch the episode 1 that we put out on Know the Ledge. It's right on our page. We have 4 or 5 cryptocurrency experts. We also have a program where you can also buy in and benefit off of this cryptocurrency wave. No, don't worry, you did not miss the boat. We got ferries to bring you to the bigger boat.
Facts.
Super facts. So once again, Nova Felder and the Felder family, we love you. We are there for you. We honor your father's memory forever, Dr. Jack Felder. You are a pillar in our community.
Legend.
And we will, yes. Edward Tate, KT the Arch Degree's father, George Edward Tate. We love you as well. We love your family.
Legend.
We are going to be honoring you in February at your memorial, and every one of our elders who have contributed endless time, their intellectual property, their hours, their blood, sweat, and tears, their sweat equity, the ones who have powered this vehicle that we find ourselves in Nebuchadnezzar, where we're moving through consciousness. That's the fuel, the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors, of our elders. And for the other elders that are here with us, we are going to dedicate to do more and to keep pushing this thing and raising the bar, so you can be pleasantly pleased with the work that has been done in your names.
Ashe.
Ashe. All right? So love and light to the family. Peace.
You got any songs you want to?
Yeah, you could leave them with a song. Shoot, it's your choice. Make sure that the beat is not copyright. Know the Ledge. We can end it on that.
Family, once again, appreciate you. Appreciate the time that you have, dedicated to journeying with us on this particular evening. We will be back on Friday. All right. But, shared a lot of information with you. So do some research, follow up on it. Don't take anything that we said on the surface. You know what I'm saying? Dig a little bit deeper.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm going to be dropping a link for the album Scorpion King. Blue Pill, tell them when yours is coming. People are asking about that.
Album coming.
Album coming.
Album coming. Son of Them is about to drop. I know Kambada got an album that he's dropping right after that. So I might be doing mine February 13th, the 44th day of the year. I might drop the album. I'm going to have singles out leading up to it and everything. Or it might just drop unexpectedly like bird shit. You feel me?
Yeah, I'm talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? But it's just about ready. You know what I'm saying? It's just about there. Just give me a second. I'm trying to find this John. You know what I mean? But the album's coming. It's definitely gonna be worth it. Trust that. But in the meantime, in between time, let's get into this track off of Scorpion King. It still goes hard. This is Know the Ledge featuring Red, Blue, and Kambada. Yeah. Oh, no, not that. That.
Let's turn that shit up.
I know the ledge. I know the ledge. I pray to me before I go to bed.
Oh.
Follow what the owner said. Manifest everything I wrote in
a little more.
Over to your opposers dead. Cry blood, turn the ocean red. I never knew I was a king. Bleed, blood red cause I read. Listen close when the deaf man sings. Sounds like the planet with the ring. The
Turn
blacker
it up.
berry, the more they gon' steal the juice. Around my neck, I still feel the noose. You see it,
The highest gonna go.
with no men to show 'em where to shoot. When the women do, they call it Cheryl Swoops. Same color as the soil that conceals the roots. Water, grow, bloom, reveal the fruit. The Messiah will appear in you. The liar's nervous when he hears the truth. I build my pyramid top down. What's the future if it's not now?
Why does this sound so low?
Heard a nigga shot a cop down. Calling for how the cop shot my pop down. What's a king if he's not brown? Anything I put on my head is considered my crown.
Now bring it back.
Yours like a nature. I mow the grass so it ain't yours. Death relates more to escape doors. Nothing's more great than a great more. I know the ledge. I know the ledge. I know the ledge. I pray to me before I go to bed. Follow what the omen said. Manifest everything put in red. The war not over till your opposers dead. Cry blood, turn the ocean red.
The beast is in peace mode. The streets is on street code. The priest is in street clothes. My war is open here. You niggas hope it's there. Into pale blue skies, into pale blue eyes. On them pale white horses and them pale white Porsches. We riding in the alley through the Cali like San Fernando Valley shooters. Rumor has it that the militants having ill intents to enlighten the darkness, the filaments. They've been doing the killing since the Philistines. The game of life is chess and they killing queens. You can hear the screams of Billie Jean. Seen the same amount of depth that Papa Doc and Haiti saw. Way before Rex 84. Hashtag summer 84. Life's a bitch. You been hexed my lady saw. Kill a bitch. The modern day saga, the Gilgamesh. The modern day naggers, yeah, we steal the shit. Glitching in the matrix, Zion is under attack. Lions is under attack. Mumra versus Thundercats. Lightning striking, thunder a clap. Sentinels on the prowl. OVO owl, foul in that flagrant shit. Agent Smiths on that agent shit. I know the ledge. I know the ledge. I know the ledge. I pray to me before I go to bed. Follow what the omen said. Manifest everything I wrote in red. The war not over till your opposers dead. Cry blood, turn the ocean red. I know the ledge. Follow what was said by them older heads. No need to second guess, cause a cold was left. Focus on what's right so there's no going left. Know when to strike like a cobra head. How you gonna fight if we throwing lead? Not caring what you like, you better go ahead. Shit, them older heads overemphasize. You gotta know the ledge, only then you rise through rank and file. It might take a while like growing dreads. Shit, it takes at least 15 years to raise a child. And they say a man should be 40 until considered wise. Being masters mean more than being able to memorize a few lines or a chapter. That's an act. So what you know the Earth's circumference? What are you doing in your earthly functions to bring heaven to your bedroom? Cause that's the rapture. I only seen you beating niggas in the head so hard. We all in need of Excedrins. And that's from laughter. Possession of secrets doesn't make you omnipresent or omnipotent or omnipotent. But when you neglect to teach it, that makes you amongst the 10%. So then, the poor righteous need the wages of labor are all priceless. Therefore, render free of charge. Cause it's part of the resume of being God. I know the land. Follow what was said by the older heads. How you gonna fight it if we throw a ledge? There's no need to light it if you know it's red. I know the ledge. I know the ledge. I pray to me before I go to bed. Follow what the omen said. Manifest everything I wrote in red. The war not over till your opposers dead. Cry blood, turn the ocean red. Yeah.
Might want to end on. I think you might have to end on Prince, man. We might need to end that on Prince, man. And the link is in the link for the CD is in the thing right here. It's pinned.
Said what now?
Somebody was asking for the link to the CD. It's right there in the chat. It's pinned. The Twin Pillars at Bandcamp. You might have to end it with Prince. Oh man.
Ready for that?
Yeah.
A lot of people have said this is not something we do.
Hold on. That ain't Prince, is it? What out here supposed to be talking, right?
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta look it up.
You had what the fuck? You had another video playing at the same time.
My YouTube, man. My shit got a mind of its own.
Yeah.
I should have had this shit. I just got mad things on my computer. Let me look and see.
I mean, I could pull it up.
Is your computer? Oh yeah, you gotta. Okay, you might have to do that. Let me look this up.
Slow, Brody.
Huh?
The computer type slow though. Your shit is on Xannies.
My shit is on Xannies. All right.
Molly Percocet.
Orthodox.
All right, here we go.
Yeah. Huh?
This is the last song, and we out of here, family.
All right. Let's go.
He's in control. He's the master of his masters. I can do business with you, right? The master talking to a slave, a sovereign. I'ma license you, my materials. You don't own my materials anymore. But I'm gonna take the big chunk over here to the homie. That's why I have no issue with people calling him a master mason. You damn right, he's the master of his catalog. He's the master of his words. He's the master of his archive. You feel me? He's the master of the ceremony. Very few artists have been able to achieve this, but the ones that have, we've seen it demise. I'm on 100%. 100. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple the Benz. Change up the circle of friends. The nether will circle the twins. 75 ever since. 70 wives in the Benz. Red and blue, purple like Prince. 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 We feeling the urge, killing the purge. Buzzers electric, we feeling the surge. Feeling the words, killing the birds with immunity. Pillars of unity. This is the formula of Voltron. This is the age of the Ultron. This is the same stage as the Pope bomb. This is the stage you can smoke on. Copper pound, came on the scene that was copper down. All I was missing was copper crown. Summer 16, I turned copper brown. Look for revenge in the copper town. Capping the jersey and copper crown. 21 guns, salute jumper sound. My power pieces, the crystals be talking, the clothier be talking. King County KLOTHIER, king of New York, and I'm Christopher walking the missiles and bucket. Pistols be talking, 21 hammers with country, the grammar, the broken, the English. I'm on 100%. 100. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple the Benz. Change up the circle of friends. The nether will circle the twins. 75 ever since. 70 wives in the Benz. Red and blue, purple like Prince. 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 Charges are federal, orders incredible, markers indelible, sparkers immeasurable, sparking the medical, markers on pedestal, sharks for that revenue, hawks for what's edible. Heart full of vegetables, artists the festivals, heart no cholesterol, sharp on those episodes. I'm on 100%. I like when summer begins. I need my hundreds and tens. I need 100%. Go independent like Prince. I'm on 100%. I like when summer begins. I need my hundreds and tens. I need 100%. I like when summer begins. Whoa, I'm on 100%. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple the Benz. Change up the circle of friends. The nether will circle the twins. 75 ever since. 70 wives in the Benz. Red and blue, purple like Prince. 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 Red and blue, purple like Prince.